What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to PCP Movie Night Station, everybody. Tonight, we're talking about a good one. We're talking about a movie that was very problematic as far as making the film, right? Don Coscarelli had a lot of problems with this while he was making it. He didn't get final cut. There's a lot to unpack about this movie, but it was a movie that I loved when I was a kid. Used to watch it on like HBO, TBS, shit like that, right? And I am really, really excited for this revisit because it did not let me down. This is a movie celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Holy freaking cow. Tonight, we're talking about The Beastmaster from Don Coscarelli. Come on. And we got to bring in the heat with it. Speaking of heat, it's Jelani. What's up, my man?
Station. Oh, man, it's good to be here. I love this movie too, man. I watched it religiously on TBS when it was on TV. I was watching this one.
Well, they played it every other weekend, right?
Yeah, they did. It was like Beastmaster. I was like, okay.
I was watching some of the bonus features. I was watching some of the bonus features, and Mark Singer said at one point that there was a joke that HBO stood for "Hey, Beastmaster's on."
That makes sense. Oh, yeah, I watched it there, too. Yeah.
Speaking of the Beastmaster being on, it's Dylan from Dylan's Horror Show.
What up, dog?
Not much, man.
I am the Beastmaster. What'd you say?
Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, thanks for having me, bro. You know, I love this one, man. Fucking huge Don Coscarelli fan. It's kind of funny, man, that I feel like maybe he's even known for this more than, like, I bet you if you knew, like, a hardcore Beastmaster fan, you'd be like, you know, he created Phantasm. They'd be like, what the hell is Phantasm? I'd be like, what? Like, dude, he created two, like, classic one. I don't know, though. Is Beastmaster, it's not based off a novel or anything, or is that, like, his own idea? Do you know?
It's based on a novel's title. So it's the title of a story. They bought the rights to it, but they didn't like the story, so they just did what they wanted to. They just got the title.
I haven't got to really dive into the bonus features as much as I'd like. I did start listening to the audio commentary like when I first got it because Joe Lynch moderates it with like Don Coscarelli and.
Shit! I had somehow accidentally touched my mouse pad there. Right. Sorry about that, buddy. But speaking of sorry about that, it's Mike. What's up, Mike? How are you doing? It's
good.
Christmas time.
Doing it very much so.
Christmas time in the 06 household.
So, it is what it is. I just did that. I haven't played with this. Still setting everything up, so I don't know what I'm doing.
All right. We also got the one, the only, Brooks.
Well, that's high and bird.
Yeah, I picked up on that. All right, so let's talk about this movie. This is the follow-up to Phantasm, right? I mean, Don Coscarelli made Phantasm. He says that he was kind of young and he felt successful, and he was like, I want to make a big fantasy epic, right? And so they wound up having to go to they couldn't pitch this idea to anybody. Nobody wanted to do anything with it. And then this one guy that had some money wanted to do some stuff with it. In hindsight, Coscarelli says that was a bad idea because he wrestled away control of the film during post-production in particular, right? In fact, Don Coscarelli was almost replaced within just weeks of this movie going in. And John Alcott, who is the legendary Kubrick cinematographer of like 2001 and The Shining and Clockwork Orange, right? He actually told him, if you fire Don, I'm walking too. So they were like, oh, guess we're stuck with this Don Coscarelli guy. But
the movie wouldn't be as good without him.
No, not at all, right? But there's a lot of story in there where basically during the editing process, Don Coscarelli was locked out of that. He got his final cut taken away. He did get to pump in a director's cut that he doesn't know if it's still around, but there are rumors that it is. But it was an 1.5 hour long film. And apparently the producer said this film's not long enough. So he got another guy to come in and lengthen everything and make the 2-hour version of the film that we all mostly know and love. It was released in Germany, like an 1.5 hour cut. I don't know if that's necessarily that same one. All that aside, to say this, I love this movie. I loved it when I was growing up because you would see it on like cable TV. Then you would see it on premium cable TV, right? And that's when you're like, oh, this movie's got more than I realized going on in it, right? And so it's got all that, and it was really cool. And then it spawned a sequel or two, right? And then there's the series. But on the revisit, that's what I was really curious about. I was trying to watch it Friday night, and I was a little sleepy. And my cat's in here in the studio with me. And in typical Beastmaster fashion, she's just like wandering around. I think she wants out. Anyway, before I get too distracted by my own beast in my life, what was I saying? I did get distracted. So when the movie, I was really excited to see. So when I watched it Friday, I was kind of tired and I kind of drifted off to sleep in it. And I was like, this movie's kind of slow. And it does have some pacing kind of things there. But then I watched it again yesterday afternoon. I was just engrossed, enamored. I was like 8 years old again, watching it on my couch in the living room, like just like transfixed, amazed. The animal work. I've never seen a movie that feels so majestic and respectful to the animals, and that the animals are like legitimate characters. And you don't need to give them goofy voices or anything like that, right? There is personality. There is something interesting about the animals, the way they work with the humans. It feels so natural and organic. And if they made this movie today, it'd all be CG. You know what I'm saying? But this movie was great. You know, it's about this dude who inherits because of his odd cow birth, right? He inherits the ability to kind of mentally and telepathically connect and control animals. He's kind of like Aquaman, but on land. In fact, it's like Landman. But I love the film. I loved it on the revisit. I thought it actually holds up. Don Coscarelli says that's not how I would have done it. It would have been done different. I'm sure that would probably been a better, more punchy film. But I still like this movie for what it is. It's big. It's epic. It's scary. It's got gnarly special effects in it. It's got big explosions. It's bombastic when it needs to be. It's epic. And I absolutely adore it. What do you think, Jelani?
Yeah. 100% agree, man. I love this movie. Like, I love this movie as a kid. I watched it thoroughly. It's one of those films where you're just like, it's engrossing. It gets to you because the animals, I love the animals more than the people in this movie. I love the people too. It's such a compelling little story. It's a great little fantasy tale. And I mean, I didn't know that Don Coscarelli didn't have like his actual, thoughts put into the post-production. That kind of sucks because, I really would have loved to see that film. But this one works just fine for me, man. I love it. It's paced well for me. I love the villain in Rip Torn. I love like the monsters that they have to create. Those demon fighters. Oh man, they're freaking nuts, man. I love everything about this film. It's just done well. And of course, rest in peace, Tanya Roberts. She did some good work in this film too, and a lot of props to all the characters in this film, and a lot of props to the animal work. Even though I did hear that like the tiger died due to like allergy complications to the dye that they put on it. So they probably wouldn't have done that now. It would have been CG for those animals now, because we don't have animal trainers like that anymore. The Humane Society would lose their minds over this. But
this is one of those things that Don Coscarelli was talking about, was that they had an animal trainer that they already told him, you got the job. He actually had a Black Panther that was trained, and that's what the script called for. And then the studio, or the not the studio, because it was independent, I guess, but the man who, the executive, the guy with the money, was like, you know what? No, we're going to go with this cheaper person, because they had 4 tigers. And he was like, I'll just dye the hair black.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great character, but like they said that Tiger died like a few months later because of the
Like, can't you just leave it as a tiger?
Terrible. Yeah.
It died because of what?
Why does it have to be black?
Yeah.
We're all black, you know?
Yeah, it's insane, man. It didn't make any sense that you dye a tiger when you could have a Black Panther.
Why did it die though?
It had an allergic reaction to the dye that they put on it.
You're kidding.
Where'd you find that out? I didn't see anything about that.
Google it.
Okay. Anyway,
Google
but
it.
overall, you like the film, Julie.
I love that film, man. It's insane. Yeah, I love that film.
What about you, Dylan? What are your thoughts on The Beastmaster?
I mean, it was one I watched. This one and like Conan and stuff. I have super fond memories of watching when I was younger. I love like the freaking, epic adventure type movies, like with the sword and sorcery. And this one, man, I might even say I like this better than maybe the Conan with Arnold Schwarzenegger, just because it has some scary elements too, like with the practical effects. I mean, Rip Torn is like terrifying in his own way. The tree creatures that kind of look like big ass bats, like those are crazy, man. The witches, like the witches that have like gorgeous bodies and then the most disgusting faces.
Yeah, they got some bad Jennifer action. You know what I'm saying? Like the Argento Masters of Horror.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
There's one that because I've watched I've watched the original so many times, but this has like a third disc. It has like the 4K disc, has like the regular Blu-ray, but then it has a third one, and it has like it has updated visual effects, like modern, like that Don Coscarelli approved. So I was trying to watch that before the show because I thought I had an extra hour. Then I was like, oh shit, it's starting like 10 minutes. But I was trying to see like what the updated effects are, like if it's like CGI visuals or
because it doesn't look bad at all.
No, it looks, dude. I think the original version looks great, man. I think it looks really good. I think it holds up. I can understand, like if you're not in the mode for it, then it's gonna drag and it's gonna be kind of boring. But if you're like feeling it and you sit down, take a hit of a bowl, you know what I'm saying? Lay back, bro, drink a brew, and you're just totally in for this like epic adventure with some cool like horror tones and cool practical effects and just a little fun, like it's perfect, bro. It's just the perfect movie, man. And freaking Dar, man. I love it, like especially if you're an animal lover. I mean, like I don't know how they got those ferrets to do what they did, like or any of them. Like I love the dog. I hate when the dog gets freaking shot with the arrow. It sucks, bro. But then he's got the hawk. He's got 2 ferrets. He's got the freaking tiger, or whatever it is, the panther. I think it's a tiger though, right?
They call it a black tiger. I think they had to. Change.
Then you got freaking Tanya Roberts. Freaking R.I.P. Tanya Roberts, R.I.P. Rip Torn. I mean, it's a great film, man. It's just a lot of fun. It's nothing to take serious, or freaking go crazy about. But I have a lot of fun with it, man. Because when Vinegar Syndrome did the release for this, I was telling you, Robbie, I was like, I gotta go before I drop like 50 on it. I'm gonna go back and watch it because it's on Amazon Prime for free. And I was like, dude, I still love it, man. I still love it, So I picked it up, and dude, definitely worth the buy for this. I mean, freaking got audio commentary moderated by my man Joe Lynch, bro. Like, and Don
he's interviewed in the documentary too. Joe Lynch.
Is he? That's sweet, bro. Yeah, there's like a 6-part documentary in it. Like I said, it's got the 4K version. It's got a updated visual effects version.
It's a beautiful set. It really is. Lots of cool artwork too. Like on the interiors there, you'll see like original artwork.
Wow.
Really cool stuff.
2 soundtracks, the original stereo mix and the 5.1 surround. Brand new commentary track. And that's the one I was talking about with Joe Lynch. They got an archival commentary track, probably the one they originally did back in the day.
A laser disc one or something.
The Beastmaster Chronicles, brand new feature-length making of documentary. The Saga of the Beastmaster, another archival making of documentary. Freaking man, they got a bunch, bro. Like this is the best way to own this, man. If you're a fan,
and it looks gorgeous, man. There's this whole
So
disclaimer at first where they're like, you know, we were missing some of the original negatives for these certain scenes, so it's going to kind of go back and forth, and it looked just beautiful to me. Mike, what do you think about Beastmaster? What's your experience with it?
I had completely forgot about Beastmaster 2, but when I was looking up stuff today on it at work, and I saw the stuff for Beastmaster 2, I was just like, that's the one that I remember. So the Beastmaster 2 is the one that I remember the most. But I did remember watching Beastmaster. It was on Fox and TBS on like Saturdays, along with like Highlander and Jaws. So
is that the one that had Tony Todd, Beastmaster 2?
That's 3.
3, okay.
3. I don't think I saw. I remember 2. I just
Tony Todd. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I watched those.
But yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it. It was it's a nice throwback. It's funny that I watched this probably 3-4 months before you even announced that you were going to do it, because it was like, I'm just editing photos. Like, I'll watch and listen to this, and like it was like it was very slow paced, and I was just kind of nodding off. You know, it's just like, what's going on? Like, it's kind of bored. Like, I have no idea what's going on because I really wasn't paying attention. So
you got to pay attention because it's subtle at first what's actually kind of going on, because it doesn't it tells a lot with just actions and images, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot of conversation going on in the first. It's like nobody must know and all this. Speaking about that, the dog that saves his life in the beginning, like, I don't know how far that dog drug him, but that dog,
it was a while though.
That's one super strength dog right there, because like he pulled him.
He was out of the village
in the middle of this battle, and like nobody saw him apparently.
Yeah, there are a lot of inconsistencies, man. Like, where are the girls after the guys after they saved them? The ones at the river.
Yeah.
What happened to those other girls?
I got my girl.
Yeah, that's it. Deuces. But yeah, it's inconsistent. So yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
But it's still, but it was fun. It was nice to go back and watch it twice in a year's time. So, but yeah, it's fun.
Nice. Speaking of fun, what about you, Brooks? What'd you think about it? This was not your first time, right?
It was, yes.
It was your first. Okay.
Yeah, I'd actually never really heard of this movie. Like I mentioned that the first time I learned about it was that Community Halloween episode where Pierce dresses up as the Beastmaster. And like I thought, like, is that an actual movie? And it turns out it was. So yeah, I'd never actually seen it, but I liked it. It's very much in the vein of like the Conan movies with Schwarzenegger from back in the day. You know, that kind of fantasy. But I like it. It strikes a good balance between being like a lighthearted kind of humorous movie at times, and then like being really dark in other times. Like, you know, you'll have the ferret steal his shit while he's bathing or whatever, and then it'll go, and then like later on there'll be a scene where a dude gets like eaten by this thing, and then like it just opens up and his bones fall out and shit.
That'd make a cool toy.
Yeah,
cool
it's like
toy.
That was kind of like how fantasy movies were back then. It's like you had to have it kind of lighthearted, but you get away with some pretty like dark stuff too.
Yeah.
Like there's like stuff I don't understand. Like I still don't understand why the two monk dudes hung themselves in the beginning of this movie.
It was to prove how much power this dude had.
Yeah.
That
So it was
people would
him
just
flexing.
Yeah, it was just a weird flex, weird stretch.
I was like, what?
That's why he looks at him.
Witnesses or something?
That's why he looks at him and goes, fanatics. Fanatics. And that dude's name is Zed, and multiple times in this movie, somebody goes, Lord Zed. And I was like, whoa, is this the secret origin of Lord Zed? So you liked it, Brooks. I'm glad you liked it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good.
Hell yeah. Let's get into it, because one of the reasons why movies work and why they pop is because the performances and the characters involved, or I should say the characters and the performances involved. But it can, make or break a movie, man. Some great performances in this film. by some really great actors. 100%. Jelani, what's one you want to highlight?
Okay, and I hate you lit it with that because my favorite characters are the animals. So, my favorite characters are Kodo and Poto, the ferrets. Like hands down, I loved them when I was a kid. I love the fact that he was like, I have my cunning, and it's like these two little ferrets are just doing all of this dirty work, and they are so cool. They're so good at it.
They're my thieves.
Could you imagine like the skyrocket of ferrets becoming house pets after the craze that probably went on after Beastmaster? Like every kid that saw that wanted a pet ferret after that movie.
I wanted a ferret after that, man. But
right.
It's cool how he comboed them too with like the hawk. You had the hawk like carrying them with the rope thing.
Why? Yeah. That
Beast
was so
combo.
cool. It's just so cool, man. And I love them, and I hated when Kodo died. But you know, it was for a good cause. It was to take out Rip Torn.
That shit gets me so bad, dude.
It hurts me, man. That's some emotional junk, man. I was and like Kodo was like, I was like, oh! It was so sad.
Yeah.
But then of course, you know, she has the twins at the end, and I'm like, yeah, all right, the thieving continue. You know, so it's gonna keep going. I just love the animals in this movie to begin with. They were just, you know, they were so well trained. Everything was just so well done with them, and they were live animals, so it was just it worked out so well. Yeah. So I'm very impressed with how they went. As far as like a human character, I'm gonna go with like Dar's dad. Dar's dad from the
adoptive dad, basically,
the adoptive dad that saved him. Because he reminds me of the guy from Phantasm. I can't remember the guy's name, and y'all know it.
Angus Scrimm?
No, the guy with the
Reggie Bannister?
Reggie's Bannister. He feels like Reggie Bannister, but he does look like Angus Scrimm too. I think Rip Torn looks more like Angus Scrimm.
Yeah, his death scene was pretty weak though.
It was weak because he just got
he deserved better.
He's just like, I failed.
It's like he's trampled, I guess.
Yeah,
he does. He just kind of.
I'm ready to stand here, and I was like, shut the gates. You got gates. Shut them. Don't stand in front of them.
Like this dude killed a witch earlier. You
yeah.
Expect him to have a better death than that.
Well, some time has passed. Okay. Like 18 years. That was 18 years ago, man. Why you got to bring up the past?
But he was a great character. I really liked it. But he's Reggie. He's so ordinary. He's just like an ordinary dude. But he's he's portrayed as this wicked badass.
Who was it? Peter O'Toole that was in Everybody Loves Raymond? Wait, who's the guy that's in Young Frankenstein?
That's not Peter O'Toole. That's
not Peter O'Toole.
That's Peter O'Toole. That's I'm talking about the old
Peter Boyle.
The dad, Peter Boyle. Yeah,
Peter Boyle. It felt like Peter Boyle from the sitcom.
Yes,
was Beastmaster's surrogate father there.
Yeah, and that's what it looked like.
And his mother a cow.
Yep. Well, technically,
it's just a weird bit there. You know that. Moving them into the that. I was like, okay, so they're gonna do a spell and kill the baby, right? No, we're gonna move the baby into a
sacrifice him and brand him first.
I get it, man. This whole movie is a weird stretch, and I fucking love it. Dylan, what's the performance you want to highlight? And animals are valid. I assumed that would happen because they're honestly some of the best.
They're great.
Definitely. They definitely make the film. So it's almost like Conan meets frickin' Dr. Dolittle or something, even though he can't really talk to him. That's a tough one, man.
Glad Dylan came prepared, everybody.
Always, bro. Always. Man, I'll just go frickin' Dar. Yeah, Dar. Because,
himself.
It takes an incredible actor to deal with animal actors, because I heard animal actors can be dramatic, but yeah, man, I think Dar, I think he's casted pretty well. He, at times I've thought he was a little goofy, but he fits the part pretty good, and I like his connection with him and the animals. I feel like he, there is that connection. So I really think that he matches well, you know, like with him and the animals, because the animals make it for me. But yeah,
They interview the animal trainer for that documentary on the Blu-ray, and he says that the tiger, which was named, I think, Kipling, the tiger loved what's his name? No, I can't remember it.
the
Mark
real
Singer?
life star.
Mark Singer, right?
Yeah.
Mark Singer.
Yeah. So like apparently the tiger and him like loved each other, and that was really dope. And apparently the eagle hated him. And so, like, what
It's an eagle. It's not a hawk.
I think it's an eagle. I don't know.
I forget too.
It's some kind of like a falcon.
Some kind of bird of prey, right? I thought it was an eagle. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Somebody can correct us in the chat, or Mike can look it up. But first, Mike, what's a character you want to highlight? Oh, and real quick about Mark Singer, excellent physique for sure, right? And this is his first movie. Didn't know shit about acting. You can kind of tell, but it adds to this kind of like boyish innocence and charm that he has.
He's very Luke Skywalker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe Lynch says that in the damn documentary. He says he's like Conan meets Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, what's it? Your name's Rue. Just the way he talks is just like so goofy, man. It's really funny. Mike, what's character you want to highlight?
I'll talk about the villain, Mr. Max, Rip Torn's character.
Mayax.
Or Max, I can't remember. My bad. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. Like I forgot he was in this, and like most of the time you see Rip Torn in movies, he's usually comedic relief or comedy relief. So it's interesting to see his character. Very man, just kind of an asshole, just in that zealot type of list, like this is what we are, and like we're gonna like. I
love the scene where the bird rescues the kid from the fire.
Oh
yes.
Yeah! Like, see, the God you didn't want him.
It's true.
Yeah,
so,
that was a good scene. He was just kind of just that. He's just an ass, but it wasn't terrible. Like he had a mission. Like he wasn't trying to be dominant. He was just trying to follow his religion. If you didn't believe in his religion, like
No, I think he was just trying to take power and kill a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
I honestly think that's what it was.
Babies.
He's trying to kill the kids so that they don't like take over. You know, like there's
The
nobody.
The witches tell him that the king's son is going to be the one to like overthrow you or whatever.
So like look at the kingdom, the way it's portrayed in the beginning of the film, and then look at when they finally go back there, and there's hardly anybody there. Everybody's all old and sickly mostly, and like there's no youth there. There's very few, right? And so like you get the idea that he's just been like, and he's working, I guess, with the Juns, because one of the biggest problems is that Rip Torn's Mayax character is the villain of the film until he gets got, and then they're like, okay, time for Act 3, and you're like, what? You just killed the villain. What's going on now? And then they have this big ass epic battle, but I still feel like he should have been that
face the Black Knight.
Yeah, but then they should have introduced. I mean, they did introduce him, but it's just weirdly structured, I think, and maybe one of those things that in an hour and a half version that say Coscarelli wanted to put together are closer together or something.
And normally you would have had to fight the Black Knight before he would have had to fight the evil sorcerer.
Yeah.
But that was just really weird.
I think that was an excuse to use that moat and blow it up.
They blew the shit out of that.
That was awesome. That was freaking gorgeous.
They said that they were like they just had mortars and gasoline, and they were pumping diesel fuel underneath the moat, and just that shit. I mean, that's an explosion, bruh. That's no kick explosion. That's an explosion.
That's an explosion. Yeah, that was going off, man.
Rip Torn, when he first meets Don Coscarelli, or shortly after getting into the movie, he says, "Hey, I got an idea what I want to bring up to you." He's like, "What's that?" And he goes, "I want to play this dude like a vulture." He goes like, "Okay, that's cool." He's like, "So do you think you can get the makeup team to give me like a vulture nose?" And so Don Coscarelli was like, "Sure." And so they made a wax nose that apparently kept like melting and shit in the sun. But like, yeah, he's wearing this dumbass nose because he wanted to be like a vulture, which makes me think of another great actor who's using animals as the basis of his performance. Last week we talked about Dennis Hopper and his T-Rex motions of King Koopa, right? So it's all tied together. What about you, Brooks? What's a performance you want to highlight?
Well, I like the female lead in this movie, the love interest.
Oh, you took that. I was
God,
leaving.
God bless her for having to wear that fucking thing throughout this entire movie. Like, there's like so many times when you can just see her junk, and it's like that had to have been like, you know, uncomfortable. But she's actually a decent character. You know, she is like a slave and everything, but they show that she has some competence. Like, you know, when
she's
he
a
pins her
princess.
down, she manages to flip him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, she fights back when they're sacrificing her. Like, she has a few moments that shows, like, you know, she's not like, you know, just a shrinking violet. I thought it was odd though for them to make her the cousin. So the dude is like, his love interest is now his cousin, but like, let's just not talk about that. I guess
it might be cousins through the different mother, because him and the kid are like half brothers, right? Yeah.
So the other kid would have been from another mother.
Yeah, because the mother died.
Okay. The mother died.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not his cousin, so it's okay. Right, so it's fine. A character I'd like to highlight, of course, the tiger's amazing. I mean, all the animals are actually the best. Like in the dog, like the training, like it all looks amazing, right? I though really, because I like him in everything that I see him in, John Amos.
Yeah.
I freaking love him. Seth, very little, I think, underutilized in the film, but he still has a presence. Every line he delivers,
the fucking staff twirl.
Just that slight little thing. Yeah. Just that slight little thing, right? And just that whole sequence of them lifting the tree to get the tiger out of the hole, right? The pit. Like, this movie is so subtle in showing and not necessarily telling, right? So I really like him. He always anchors something, man. I loved him when I was a kid. Good Times, Coming to America, West Wing, and I always think this dude is dead for some reason because they killed him in Good Times.
They killed him in Good Times, yeah.
So like, I remember seeing him in West Wing and be like, oh, he's alive. Then they killed him in West Wing, and then I saw him again. I was like, oh, wait, and he's in the doc. I was like, is he still alive? Of course he's still alive. John Amos is strong, hardy, all that stuff. But I love that character, Seth. I would have liked to get in a little bit more out of him if you're going to spend 2 hours. But they spend a lot of time building up that connection between Dar and those animals, right? Like, that's the big part of like pretty much like the whole first part of like Act 2 basically is him. Like, once his village is gone, his past is burned off, and he goes out and he starts getting his gifts from the gods, if you will, that will equip him for his journey going forward, right? Let's talk about the style and structure of this film. I think it's actually really well done. Knowing what I know about how Don Coscarelli would have maybe done the movie a little bit different, a little bit leaner, a little bit trimmer. It does have I like the pace of it though. I still enjoy what it is, but I could see how if it was tightened up a little bit, it would probably hit a lot harder, but I don't know if it would still feel as epic in scope. Part of that scope, of course, is because of the brilliant cinematography by John Alcott, who we already talked about, did all those Kubrick films. This guy knows what to do, right? And they were just like, they heard he was filming a horror film, like a low budget horror film in Canada. So they were like, if he does low budget horror films, we should just call him and see. So they got in touch with him. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Could you imagine that? And they're just like, holy cow. I think that's one of the reasons why this movie visually looks so amazing. It's expansive. The camera movement works. When they're running to their village, when they see that the attack's about to happen in the beginning, there's so much motion and energy in that, man. And that's throughout the movie. The way it all looks, the special effects are amazing. It's, what's his name? Mark Shustrom. Is that his name? Dylan probably knows who I'm talking about. He did like Phantasm 2 and shit. Mark Shustrom, I think. Is that his name? Anyway.
I'm trying to think of his name too.
Anyway, I'll look it up, but I love the style. I love the structure of the film. I love the look of it. The cinematography is gorgeous. Special effects are great. Jelani, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, it's paced well for me. I mean, it kept me engaged the entire time. I love the wide shots. All of the wide shots of all of the mountain ranges and all of the places that they found. The locations director should have gotten an Oscar for this. It was just clean the way everything looked.
It's
It
like
is-
this whole area that's like set aside
is.
by some company for like some kind of quarrying, right? And they got the deal to rent it out for $1,000 a month.
That is insane.
They made this movie on like just under $5 million, bro. Think about that. Even in 1982, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
How good this movie looks for that.
I mean,
And
all
it
the
still
costumes
holds up.
well.
I think they
holds up.
spent more money on the
Yeah.
80s Dune, and let's just be honest.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Put
I'd
them
watch
together.
this all day over the 80s.
Yeah, me too. But it's shot well. It's brilliantly. The pacing is nice. It keeps it steady. I think it's a very steady movie. I mean, I get everything I need to do if I'm just pay attention to it. If I'm watching it, I can't look away from it. It's the costumes are well made. I love the monsters. All of the monsters, all of the demon warrior things that were in the on the ground, like with their arms sticking out. I loved how they created them.
The glowing eyes.
The glowing eyes.
That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, bro.
It was nuts, man. I was like, that one guy that got turned and like he's like causing all these problems. It's so awesome. Like they're sitting there watching it happen.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And how many zealots did he have? God, he had a ton of zealot guys. Because he kept killing them. And then you don't see the battle that they had, when Zed comes back and he like shuns Dar. And he's like, we're gonna attack them at dawn and all this other crap, and then like they immediately get their asses kicked. You don't see that battle because I'm like, where all these zealots come from? Did he like raise them and radicalize them? I don't know. You never saw that many, but then like they kept getting killed and they were just cannon fodder the entire time.
Yeah, but religious zealots, because this is just one town in a kingdom, and that's the idea is that the Juns rule the kingdom.
Right.
So we never even saw the king. He's just some kind of like, and if you look, he's not living the good life. Like he's not healthy when you see him towards, once Beastmaster's grown up.
All messed up.
Yeah. He's just some kind of like Gargamel off in some fucking distant like village in this overarching kingdom, just holding on to his little vestige of power because he probably bends backwards to the Juns or whatever, right?
Yeah. Because I guess he was also sacrificed the kids
out.
to keep the Juns
sold
at
out for the
bay.
Juns.
Yeah.
And it is Mark Shostrom who was the makeup artist on here. So there you go.
Well, he did a decent job. I think.
Did a great job, man. I think so.
The
Dylan.
practical effects were great.
Absolutely. Dylan, speaking of practical, you're practical. What do you think about the style and structure of the film?
I think it's great, man. I think it looks really good. Music is fantastic. I don't know if you're talking. I don't think you're talking about that, but I think the style is perfect for what it's going for. I love the cinematography. Is that who you were asking about? Who did the cinematography?
No.
All right. Special effects.
Cinematography was John Alcott. It's Mark Shostrom, the guy that did From Beyond and a bunch of stuff. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the style is great, man. It goes perfect, for that old school, epic adventure, sword and sorcery type style. But I love like the little horror, hints it has from Don Coscarelli's like horror background, obviously. So I think that adds like an extra level to it, where that's where I like sword and sorcery movies were always like the best to me when they had like that kind of like horror element lingering in the background, But I think the structure is great. It can be a little slowly paced at times because you said it's 2 hours. So I didn't even know. It doesn't feel like 2 hours, but sometimes it can feel a little slow. But I think they do good character development, good animal character development. You know what I mean? So I think everything. It's not. I don't think they do any development for no reason. So I think the pacing works. It just some people might not like it as much as others. It just depends what you're into. But I love it. I think the movie flows perfectly. So
nice.
I love it, man. It's just such a fun time. It's not one I go to all the time, but if I'm in the mood for sword and sorcery, man, like that's gonna be like top 3, top 5 that I'm like between what I want to watch.
It's pretty much where I'm gonna go to as well, especially now that I have the set. And Joe Lynch in the interview said they managed to do the last whole like all the action of the last season of Game of Thrones in the last 20 minutes of this movie. Like about how big that finish is. It is quite big, even though they do kill the evil sorcerer before all the fireworks go off. Speaking of fireworks, Mike, what do you think about the style and structure of the film?
Well, I did look it up, and it is a golden eagle, not a hawk, that the bird is. And apparently the bird did not fly on cue. So to get a lot of the flying scenes, they had to drop it out of a hot air balloon. So
that's how you make a bird fly, right?
He's just so stubborn. Like, nah, I ain't doing it.
No, you just drop him and he flies down to the guy, and
looks like that bird was a real asshole.
So like the cinematography is really what made this movie. Just everything from the animal perspective, the POV shots were very interesting, and then just that's the flow of everything. So like you said earlier, everything's very subtle, everything's very action and detailed. It's not a lot of dialogue, so you have to pay attention. So then I still don't understand why they fought the Juns at the end. But then again, like if you're gonna, I guess they essentially took over. They fought the Lord of the Land, and now they got to deal with the
because that's why they were coming.
Well, it's like they were taking back. The Lord was taking back his land, and now the king has to. The king's guard is now having to deal with the situation. So it's almost like in a perfect world, your sequel would have been Beastmaster versus the King instead of Beastmaster through the time portal. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Like everything flows. I think y'all pretty much nailed a lot of it.
Nice. I think originally too, I think maybe the book that it comes from, or their original idea one, was supposed to be that it was post-apocalyptic, right? But they were like, everybody's doing that, and so they intentionally try to set it in the Bronze Age. So I like that aspect of it too. What about you, Brooks? What do you think about the style and structure of this film?
I think it works. You know, it is very typical of the fantasy movies of its time. You can definitely tell. It has the Conan vibes and it kind of has the story structures. Kind of reminds me of Clash of the Titans too, like the original one. But yeah, I mean it's a high fantasy movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not afraid to make with the jokes when necessary, and but it doesn't shy away from trying to put some of the darker stuff in there too, which you would expect from the guy who made Phantasm.
Yeah.
Like if there's at least some fucked up shit, and it's like how do you know it's him?
Yeah. The only thing that would have made it better is if at the end you find out that the king is the tall man.
Yes. Like we need Beastmaster versus the tall man.
Yeah. Boy.
And Reggie is the dad.
Reggie Bannister.
Yeah, Reggie is the dad.
Or he's the cousin. He's the other cousin. He's Kiri's brother.
The tall man brings back Rip Torn, and then Beastmaster and Reggie Bannister have to fight both of them.
Let's do it. All right. Let's get into the music a little bit. The music is by Lee Holdridge. He did a lot of television music. He won and was nominated for a lot of Emmys. He was nominated 18 times for Emmys. For like sports Emmys, documentary, news, daytime. Maybe he just did news. I don't know. But he got brought on to do this film. Coscarelli was already pretty much out of it, but he did have a little bit of more influence on some of the music because it was already kind of getting going. But this dude had 2 weeks to do this damn thing. So he spent 10 days writing the music and they spent 5 days recording it. And so for something that's so thrown together, and he had some buddies working with him to embellish it and all that kind of stuff. But it's a great score. It's epic. It's sweeping. It's soaring. It gets nuanced a little bit when it needs to. It's got some great romantic themes. It's got these big heroic things that just sweep across, man. It's absolutely amazing. And then it's got those moments where it needs to build tension or suspense or delve into the horror. And it does it really freaking well. It's iconic. It's memorable. I like it. I like this music a lot. What do you think about the music, Jelani?
I totally agree with it, man. I mean, it is sweeping fantasy music. it wants you, it engrosses you, and it's big, it's bombastic, it fits this film like perfectly.
Yeah.
I love that theme. That theme, you know, is just it picks it out. It reminds Don Coscarelli's like he knows how to pick his music really well, because Phantasm does the same type of thing where, you know, you get that thing that you can sing, and like I was whistling the tune like after the movie. I watched all the credits because I loved that music so much. Right. It's just it's so sweeping, and I can't say much about it because, you know, that score is just so clean. So I can't say nothing else about it. It's great.
I think the movie has a little bit more pep in its step and fun because of the music, because it's pretty dark, like what's actually going on in the film, but it never feels like it's too dark. Like it still feels like a kid's film, even though it's really not, right? So that's a little weird. Since Dylan has apparently disappeared, I don't see him there. So we'll skip Invisible and Dylan right now. So Mike, what do you think about the music?
I think everything in this and the music kind of fit. Every animal kind of has a version of a theme or is part. If you go back and look at the track listings, like it's like the little thieves, like the thieves, and it's the song when the ferrets are being chased by the demon creature, and then and then the eagle has its own sword. It has its own song when it flies, and just that way that it feels very whimsical and whatever the word you said, I can't remember. Sorry. Crap. But yeah, other than that, it was really good. It fit the mood really well. I guess my favorite is the when he meets the bat creatures for the first time. It's that very dark, the dark, and the music added an extra creep feel to that scene. Which
that's a great set there too, with that tree with those like glowing orbs or whatever on it. Man, looks like a goddamn Masters of the Universe box art set or something. Right?
and those creatures just like the music starts when you just see the creatures out of nowhere. It's just like they just pop up out of the ground. Yeah, and it's just like, oh shit, what the hell?
This is the best He-Man film we've gotten.
True.
Honestly.
Yeah, think about it. Like He-Man and Dolph Lundgren did in He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
That's true.
If only He-Man live action was as good as this.
Which I do love that movie, but
I know
it's an awesome movie.
I know.
Dylan, what do you think about the music in the film?
Oh man, I think it's freaking spot on the money. I forget, you said earlier, didn't you, who does it? But I think it's absolutely perfect.
Lee Holdridge.
But yeah. What, has he done any other big things I know?
Apparently enough to be nominated for 19 daytime Emmys and shit.
Wow.
Soap operas.
I'm gonna look it
up. A lot of soap operas.
The music though is definitely one of my favorite parts about the movie. It really gives you that, tonal vibe to the entire movie and what you're like you're stepping into this world,
He did the music for Moonlighting, Beauty and the Beast.
Wow.
He did the music for Transylvania 65000.
I haven't seen that.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After this one, right after this, he did Mr. Mom. He did the music in Splash. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
But nominated for a lot of daytime Emmys and shit. So there's Sarah, East of Eden, I'll Take Manhattan, Atomic Train, Miss of Avalon, American Family, Brooke Ellison Story. I don't know what the hell those are. Anyway, music's good though.
Yeah, music's absolutely phenomenal.
What about you, Brooks? Did you notice it?
I did actually watch it a second time just so I could, get a better feel for the music. And I want it to be fresher in my head. But I think the music. I like the music in the first half a lot more. It's more that it has that kind of that Conan sound and stuff, like with the big drums, like boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
And there's a thing in like the early, like when she's doing the magic, or whenever anybody's doing magic, there's like this kind of fucking. It's that that kind of almost sci-fi sounding noise, and it doesn't get used like in the later half of the film as much. For me, it seemed like the music became much more standard in the later half of the movie. Not that it was bad. I mean, it was still good and it still fit with the movie, but it didn't stand out as much to me as like the earlier tracks.
Yeah. Could you imagine if they would have had time to actually like compose more? Like 10 days of writing, 5 days of recording. That's crazy, right? And the fact that when it was done, so Coscarelli didn't have final cut, right? He didn't have any control over that. They made his movie elongated and they made it long and did things that he didn't want to do with it. And then the dude who financed the film sold it to MGM, who had just recently lost the head of MGM due to some kind of scandalous thing. And so they were kind of directionless at this time. And they just they got it. The movie was done in June. They purchased it in August and just put that shit out with no marketing. And it was pulled after like 2 to 4 weeks. Plus 1982, we know is a year where a lot of movies that are really cult classics, The Thing, Tron, right? There's another one that that's for some reason escaping my mind right now, Blade Runner, right? Which we'll be talking about in a couple weeks. But like those movies didn't do well because that was the year of E.T. And if it wasn't E.T., nobody was buying it. You know what I'm saying?
Purple.
But it was on HBO. It was on TBS, TNT. It was on local television stations where Beastmaster found an audience. And it's only grown and it's become this huge cult movie. And I'm asking you now, what do you think it's actually about? What's it trying to say? If there's a message in this film, if there's some nugget of human experience and truth to glean from this, what would it be, Jelani?
It took me a while to think about this, but it's trusting in others as much as I could see, because it's a fantasy film. It's a fantasy action film. You're not going to really get much. I don't think I'm going to get super gems out of this, but I see like John Amos and the kid and how trusting Dart was and how trusting they were together and how building that trust can build an army and build something greater. I always saw that in the film. Because if I'm seeing strangers on the road, I'm leaving the strangers be, and I'm not helping a guy move a log into a hole so a tiger can come out. I don't know what that's about. Like, I need some more information before I let this tiger out of this hole. That's my personal feelings, but that's kind of what I got throughout the film, because it was the love of the father and son together and the trust that they had together and how not father. I still don't know this guy's name. The guy's name in the film, the Reggie. Just call him Reggie. And how Reggie trains his son to become a better person on top of hiding his powers and keeping him safe and moving him into the world, and how he's able to trust others to build what he's trying to build. That's what I try to get from it. It's a nugget. I don't know, but that's what I got out of the film. I love it though, and the trust of the animals and all that other junk.
Hell yeah,
that's all I got.
Nice.
Nothing too big.
Manny says, always be willing to help a homie put his log in a hole. Speaking of putting logs in holes, Dylan, what do you think the movie is about?
Damn, I usually like to let all y'all go so I can steal off y'all.
That's right, young man.
I'm never prepared for this question, no matter what. Probably that it's not good to sacrifice babies, because or to kill a kid's father, because one day he might come back and slay that ass once he fucking gets big as fuck and gets a couple pet ferrets and pet lion and a freaking hawk as his buddy. I mean,
yeah.
You just
don't
want to take chances like that.
Yeah. Well, you got a couple things there, because like Brooks said, he was told, he was warned. It's kind of like that Oedipus shit, all right, where like you're warned, you're trying not to fulfill it, and your actions to not fulfill it get fulfilled. So it's almost like you can't escape fate. And then at the same time, don't sacrifice babies. You cannot use your people, the community, as a resource to better yourself in your position.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well done, Dylan.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
insightful. What about you, Mike? What's the
You
movie
just
trying to say?
made me sound too good.
If Dar was born to his mom and dad, he would have never been the Dar that we know and love, and his life would have been different. So
He would have been able to talk to animals.
true.
Yeah.
But it's funny is that when Dar joins, everything's kept a secret, and then he's accepted by the community, and then a few people accept him for who he is, and it goes back to that trust. And then when he goes and does the heroic thing, he's rejected by his original dad, but he doesn't know that it's his original dad yet, and so there has to be some type of thing. I'm sure somebody could go deeper into it of acceptance and rejection and society norms on everything. So there's something there for somebody to put together, but it's just what I've noticed.
Exactly. Nice. What about you, Brooks? What do you think?
I got the kind of a vibe that is dangerous. The danger of the theocracy, is this evil priest dude. Like, he's given control, and like all he seems to do is like kill children for his god. Like, does he even do anything else besides like make freakish monstrosities and kill children? It's like, this is not the kind of guy that you want like in charge. It's like
He wiped out a town.
it's like he's just not. He doesn't seem like a good guy. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that has it together. It should be like, in charge of people's lives.
Especially he gets greedy, right? Because they're like, he killed. Okay, this one baby I just killed is not enough. I need another
He's just
baby.
very vague about his God, what his God wants. Apparently his God just wants him to kill children. It's like, okay, so what is this God doing for like us? Nothing?
Yeah.
Right.
Some bullshit,
then-
sounds like to me.
Then you got the
Right.
true force when that eagle comes and lands, and they're all like, "Oh shit!" Now that's the true quote unquote God. That's nature, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is with the vampire dudes too. Like the bird comes in and just like lights on top of that bird statue, and they're like,
Yep,
he is the one.
exactly.
I thought it was weird though that at the end, like as he's walking away, that one just like goes up like right on him. It's just, he just slides the thing on there. It's like, why'd you do that, dude?
Yeah, weird stretch. Why you trying to scare him, man?
That could have gotten like really wrong for him.
Yeah. No, y'all are all hitting it right there on the head, man. And to me, it's about finding your place in the world. This is your prototypical hero's journey, monomyth, Joseph Campbell type stuff, right? That's what this is. This dude's past is destroyed. He's got mysterious birth circumstances. This is mythology being built, right? You got him losing everything, going out into the world, coming across people who are going to aid him on his quest. Weapons, he levels up like it's a video game, right? He's got it like if this was a video game, first thing you got to do is you got to find that hawk. You got to find that eagle. You got to find your eyes. Then you got to find your cunning. Then you got to get your strength, right? Then you got to meet some friends. You got to formulate your plans. You got to do all this, right? But it's about finding your place in the world. When Mike was talking about how he's rejected by so many different things. When I said that this is kind of like Aquaman on land, it's Landman. I wasn't just saying because of the way he can he has this like communal spirit and connection with animals. It's because he is torn between two worlds, the world of man, the world of beast, right? And he is undervalued in the land of man, right? Aquaman's one of those characters that can easily allow himself to be undervalued because he doesn't fit in to the two worlds that he belongs in. And Beastmaster Dar could be the same way, but he's not. He does what he needs to do in a truly stoic, look ahead, fun kind of way. And he has found that even through being rejected by certain people or by society or authority, right? He has still found a community within himself, a oneness within himself, a oneness within nature. and man's connection to nature. And ultimately, the one thing, like if we were having to write book reports about this shit, nature. This is one of those nature movies, man. It's about the spirit of the actual world, nature, being in it, respecting the territories, the realms of these different animals, of these different creatures, and the fact that we are actually a part of it. We're not a dominating force like Rip Torn's Mayax up there on the pyramid, sacrificing our people to better ourselves. We're actually a part of this world in this outer, larger cosmic universe of connection and togetherness and oneness and union. And that's how the animals live. So it's like Savage Garden was on the nose when they did that song, I Want to Live Like the Animals. Maybe they had just done a lot of coke and watched Beastmaster, and then Beastmaster 2, and then 3, and then the series. You never know. But that's what it is to me. So,
Okay.
kind of all of it thrown together there. So,
Heck yeah, that's good.
well, thank you.
I
All
like
right.
that.
Now it's time to rate the movie. You out there in the chat, if you've seen The Beastmaster, celebrate how old you are, because this movie's 40 years old this year. And then let us know, out of 5 possible you digs, what do you rate this film? Jelani, kick us off.
This is such a baller film. It's just it has so many good things about it. It brings back like childhood memories, and of course, you know, I always rate by rewatchability, and I've watched this numerous times and enjoyed it every time. So I'm gonna give it the perfect 5. I'm gonna give it 5 you digs.
Damn.
Because I love this movie. I'm sorry, and I love Masters of the Universe. I gave it a 5, just because it hits the kid. It hits the kid bubble. It hits all the things for me. I totally enjoy it. I'll watch it again. I could watch it with others again, probably DNH. So it works out, man. It's such a great film. Yeah, absolutely. I'd do it again.
5 you digs from Jelani, a perfect score for the Beastmaster. And this is the man who refused to even watch any of the Fast and Furious films. So I just want to point that out. Dylan,
I live.
out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give this film?
As much as I do love it, I'll try to be a little bit more critically on it. It's not a perfect movie. It is an awesome movie that I'm nostalgic for. But it does.
Why are you cutting promos on Jelani while you're giving your rating? You notice that, everybody?
Yeah, he cuts promos.
No.
I'll see you later, brother.
I'm surprised. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that you gave it a 5 is all. But
I gave it. I love it. I love it, man.
It is a fantastic movie, though. I'll give it a 3.5, though. 3.5.
Damn, a 3.5. All right. Damn, Dylan's pulling out the. I think you went a little too easy on Screen 5, but you're going to get really incising with Beastmaster. I see how it is. Yeah,
going critically on it.
Yeah, I see how it is. Yeah,
it's like a 3.5.
You're gonna pull out the spectacles for this one.
The monocle.
Hey, monocle. 7 out of 10 though is respectable.
No, I got you, man.
Pipe in the monocle.
He's like, what would improve my letterbox score? What rating? But all right, that's valid though. Fair enough. What about you, Mike? What do you give Beastmaster?
All right, so since I got flack over giving Super Mario Brothers a 4.5, I guess I'm gonna have to be like Dylan and put the spectacles on and grade this one a little harder. No, it's fun.
It ain't this movie's fault you overrated Super Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers. I'm gonna watch Mario Brothers when we're done with this. That's all I'm saying. That movie is fun. It's just it's fun.
Yeah, listen. I'm glad I wasn't there last week.
We were having a bit of a love fest.
I watched that video. I was like, "What the hell is wrong with y'all?" And so I'm backing off of that.
That's dope, bro.
But yeah, like
I was gonna have some arguments with y'all.
I really want to go. This makes me want to go back and watch Beastmaster 2.
I was just looking at that, man.
Probably skip 3.
Through the Portal of Time. That was your favorite Beastmaster through.
I think that's what I remember the most. But yeah, so I'm gonna agree with Dylan on this one and give it a 3.5.
3.5. All right. What about you, Brooks?
Right,
It's
that's
above average.
respectable.
Yeah, it is. Brooks,
It's
pull out.
It's not a it's not It's no phantasm.
It is no phantasm, but it ain't no Phantasm 3. All right, so Brooks,
Yeah.
pull out the double monocle, and what do you put on this one?
I give this one a 4. I think it's ooh, the porn bot's here.
I was gonna say you made it.
Like it's like it showed up just for me. But yeah, this is like a really good, one of those good '80s fantasy movies. It's got its problems. It's a little corny in ways, but it's still fun. And that's what I like in my movies. Like I want to not all the time. Sometimes you want something a little darker.
Yeah.
But if you want like just a good fun movie that you can sit and watch, this is a pretty good one. It'd be a good one to fuck, like, traumatize a child with, like, hey, check out the Beastmaster, and then it gets to the fucking, like, vampire priest scene, and they're like, is that dude's skeleton?
What's really going to mess them up is when they're sitting there like, ooh, look at all that ass, and then all of a sudden it's like this fucking...
Yeah, like, I love that opening scene, because, like, I see them, and I'm like, oh, this is a fantasy movie, though, so, like, their faces are going to be all fucked up, and I was like, yeah. You didn't fool me.
Called it. All right.
I've seen this rodeo.
I'm right there with Brooks. I'm gonna give it 4 you digs. 4 you digs. It holds up for me. I like it. I would have liked to seen the version that had a little bit more time in post and had a little bit more influence and control for Don Coscarelli. But no use crying over spilled milk. You know what I'm saying? The movie we got, I think it has some great performances. I think it's got some of the absolute best animal acting, especially with humans, I have ever seen. Because it always looks
up scene.
The
where,
what?
He's getting the tiger to attack her, kind of.
Yeah, that was cute.
Still. Like, check out how I can make him go away.
Then you're like, yeah, a little bit of a creep, but it was thousands of years ago.
Awesome.
So, sure, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, would you have done it?
Yeah, I'd have done it.
I think I could have just I'd have been like, hey, watch this.
Yeah, I'd probably just been like, hey, check it out. Check this out.
Yeah, check this out. This tiger's my buddy. This tiger's my buddy. Look, we cool. But I'll give it 4, man. I like the film. I like the performances. I love the music. I enjoy the film. I have no regrets owning this beautiful ass box set. Comes with a book. It's got the 4K. One day I'll upgrade and get 4K stuff. But for now, I'm loving it. So, a 5 from Jelani, a 4 from me and Brooks, and a 3.5 from Dylan and Mike for a PCP average of 4.369, dudes.
You just dropped all pretense of doing any kind of calculations for this.
Yeah, we don't do math here, man.
Yo, you remember back, at least now it's just always going to some 69-bit. Back in the day, I used to just do a string of random numbers. You remember that? I like the 69-bit a little bit better. Manny says a 5er. It's no skeleton key, but I can dig it. But Chill Out Man says scale 1 to 5. Back in the day, 5. Today, a 4. Two Gun Pedro says last time I've seen this movie, it was on VHS. From what I remember, I enjoyed it. I give it 4 you digs. And Jackpot says I give it 2.5 you digs because I only saw half of it. All right. Well, there you go. You got to watch the other half. So that concludes our review of The Beastmaster. Thank you all for joining us. We're not done. We're going to take a quick intermission and be back for PCP Back Chat. But what's coming up here on the channel? Well, first of all, next week, we're doing Small Soldiers, everybody, the Joe Dante Classic, and I'm super pumped and ready for that. So join us next week. Same PCP Movie Night time, same PCP Movie Night channel, and then Saturday night, 7 p.m.-ish Central Time. Join us as we talk about The Void on Dylan's Horror Show. I hear really good things about this. Dylan really likes it. I've heard other people say good things.
Hey, I just watched it for the first time a few days ago. It came out in 2017. It looks like from the title you would think it's older, I feel like. But no, it came out in 2017.
Okay. I hadn't heard of it.
Mike should check that sucker out because I didn't even know it was produced by the people who did The Witch, and he's a huge A24 guy.
Yeah, The Witch is awesome, though.
I love The Witch, man. I love it.
Saturday night, The Void on Dylan's Horror Show, and the next Monday night, Small Soldiers for PCP Movie Night.
I gotta try and make it the Small Soldiers.
I'll get a rodeo burger.
I love Small Soldiers.
To celebrate the occasion.
You're gonna have a rodeo burger? Hell yeah, man.
Like grill out rodeo burgers.
Taking it back. By the way, if you want to think of some 90s random toys that nobody cared about when they first came out, but are stupid ass expensive now, check out the prices on some small soldiers, especially on card. We'll be right back after this break with PCP Back Chat, y'all.
Sup, Brooks?
Hey.
How are you doing, everybody in the place? PCP Back Chat. Shoving all in your face.
Shove it all in your face. Good times.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to PCP Back Chat. It's the show after the show. We're going to be talking about things. First of all, announcement. Podcast got pushed back again.
Wow.
We're trying to start back with this big James Bond thing, and I just have not been able to carve out time to watch these damn movies. So
there are like 27 of them, aren't there?
Yeah. Well, I've watched like
Something
6
like
of them. But anyway, we got it. We got our plan. We finally got a plan finalized. John and I. Brooks has no clue what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome to PCP Back Chat here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Just finished the Beastmaster. Let me real quick. Dylan had to dip out, by the way, everybody. He says thank you for all joining us. Let me point this out real quick, though, once again, so you can see it a little bit better. So there's the front artwork.
That is awesome.
And it goes all the way around. It's like this wrap cover.
I don't think that poster, man. That is awesome.
So it opens up. Right. So then you pull all this jazz out. And this is what it looks like on the inside.
Wow. Yeah, that's the poster I remember. The one on the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
then
cool.
You got the slip.
Of course.
And then you got the disc. Right there. And it's got the reversible the reversible sleeve. So you can go
to the original.
Yeah, you can go to that one. Or this one.
Oh, okay.
But you have a lot available. I like that one better.
Yeah.
But then, this is riveting now. Put the sleeve back. It's got this book. This is from Vinegar Syndrome. That's their little logo. But this book is really cool. So it's got like concept art, which is really gnarly, especially if you like fantasy art. It's got some really cool bits. Look at that.
Wow.
Those are those bat creatures and their little orb egg things or whatever. Cool. Yeah. So cool concept art. And then it's got like a little bit of, there's some essays and pictures, things like that. But it's a really cool set. It's pretty expensive. But if you're a hardcore fan, look at that. Some European posters. Look at that.
That's where that other art is. Yeah.
Yeah. You see
I was wondering where that art. I'd never seen that art before.
Pretty dope though. It's really dope set. Really dope set. I'm glad I have it.
Cool.
And I mean, this was one of those things that just had license. So crazy because it got sold and used so much by MGM, and then all this stuff was going on, and the licensing of this has never really been quite. I don't know. Like doing this edition, it took something because they had to like find some like old footage. They had to find the right kind of thing to like remaster or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it looks good in 4K, but I don't have 4K stuff, so I didn't see it. But it's got the like little scene right there where Rip Torn's like trying to sacrifice the chick. Like it's got a lot of detail in there. I would love to just have a poster of that.
It would be nice.
Oh, you see the little pyramid fight right there.
Yeah.
And then just booty all over it. So
not at all like the actual movie.
So how is everybody doing out there? Brooks, how long has it been since you've seen Small Soldiers?
It's been a while. Probably like I was in middle school, I believe.
Yeah.
God, that was like 97. Was that 97? 98?
The movie?
Yeah.
Surely, like 97 sounds right, doesn't it?
I think it was in the theater. I worked at
earlier.
98.
I worked 98. I was in the theater.
I was in high school then.
I remember watching it, right? And then I remember renting it on VHS several times, and then I don't think I've ever seen it since then.
Yeah.
It was a rental for me, too.
It was a rental. Yeah. Yeah, at the end. I think the last time I saw it,
I think I saw it when it was
2000.
Whenever it came on HBO, that's the last time I saw it.
I remember liking it really well.
That's an excellent idea. Evil Face Bad says, would love to see a Greg Capullo drawn Beastmaster book. That'd be cool.
So I heard you talking about the Bond cast being pushed back. I was going to say, you have to watch that last Bond movie to
shit.
Get in that. So, well, last time we, like on some of the stuff that we've done, we've always kind of skipped out. Like I remember the Wes Anderson.
I do not skip out, brother.
I remember like on the Wes Anderson, a lot of us skipped the last movie.
I don't think we had seen it yet. That's different.
That's what I'm saying. But like we didn't.
It's not like we were trying to fucking cheat. I'm doing a Bond cast. I'm gonna watch all the goddamn Bond movies, man. I've done it before. We never aired that episode. That was years and years ago. Right, I did it in 2 weeks. I have less time nowadays, but don't ever insinuate my
No, but
brother
I'm saying, like,
that
we
I
didn't-
ever half-ass anything on PCP.
Well, no, but I'm saying
Let me
not
tell
to-
you something. When I'm on PCP, I am like
Why does
full
this remind me
fucking
of
bored.
somewhere else?
I'm just saying we didn't do. Like, we did a Wes Anderson thing, and nobody watched Moonrise Kingdom, and it was just.
It was like it's can't go see that in our town at that time, bruh.
Yeah, you could, cause I did.
Well, I was fucking not doing it. I was doing something better then. I guess.
It was
I don't
already
remember.
it was already available for rental by the time we did that podcast.
Bro, let me tell you something. I still ain't seen that shit.
Oh, you missed
Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
Hey, I might add that one to the list.
I don't think I've seen a new film from him since
Did you watch
Darjeeling
Darjeeling
Limited?
Limited? I was gonna say.
I think that's the last. I quit watching movies for about 10 years. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I mean, you watched movies, you just didn't watch good movies.
Oh, fuck off. You're
I
right.
had a bit of a restriction on what kind of movies he could watch.
Yep. I'll go into that.
We're not going
Like,
into
he couldn't have
that.
watched this movie. He could definitely not have watched this movie back in
Well,
the
now
day.
I fucking own this movie, so how about that, okay?
Good times.
Leave me alone. We're not talking about that. So anyway. Are you guys watching this Boba Fett thing? Because I still haven't seen one, and I'm just
Yes.
not hearing good things.
It's
to be
all right.
honest.
That
I'm
third
liking it
episode,
all right.
that third episode kind of messed up a lot of stuff, but fourth brings you back.
Checkbot says I got super chat money if you guys want to step it up.
Oh, thanks, man. This is our back chat. This is what we're having. Enjoy.
There was one thing. The introduction to the mechanical kids, the bike gang in episode 3.
Episode 3.
Like, you take out that, and the episode would have been fine.
It's not Star Wars. They're not Star Wars. Those little
What?
hoverchair riding Vespa kids.
Cyborgs are Star Wars, dude.
It's Star Wars. Ours. It doesn't
Like,
matter, man.
Not
Luke's
Star
got,
It's just
Wars.
like-
Fuck off.
What I'm saying
she's
is
got
this.
mechanical.
This is what I'm
guns,
saying.
Luke's got a mechanical hand. Vader's all mechanical.
Yeah, talk amongst
It's not
yourselves.
bad.
This is fun.
It's not bad. It's not.
Cybernetics is Star Wars.
It's just a
when
lot
people
of.
do that whole "it's not Star Wars" thing.
It's not
Star Wars, man.
Obviously, Star Wars.
They're riding Vespas. They're riding Vespas.
Lightsabers. That's not Star
I-
Wars.
I get
That's
the
what feels Star Wars.
but like I get the influence of why they're on the Vespas. But
They
the pro-
couldn't buy water, but they have enough money to get cybernetic parts and drive brightly colored
The bright
Coruscant
color-
Vespas.
the
Come
Vespa,
on, man.
The color, like I had no
I
problem.
can't
with the
drink
Vespa.
water, but I got this new eye.
I had no problem with the Vespa. I had the problem with the color of the Vespa. Like
Too
those things.
shiny.
Like,
Too shiny for Tatooine.
like, yeah,
you
exactly.
live on
Like
a
like
dirt
that's
planet,
like,
and you have
that's where
shiny
you-
Vespas.
the water went to cleaning. Like they can't afford to drink water because all their water is going to keep those things clean. Like those things were.
They
too
didn't
clean.
say that. When did I hear that?
No, but I'm saying like that's
When did I hear that? Shiny.
It's kind of insinuated that Jabba used a lot of water back when he was like the daimyo or whatever. So maybe since his death and like since the huts are moving
Yeah, it's
out,
been fault.
maybe they have like moisture to spare now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess everybody. I mean,
But
most
I
of those
mean,
moisture farmers.
Not to defend the Vespa riders. I hope that they play a better part going forward. But Boba Fett is too he got domesticated really quickly, and he doesn't
How's he
really
domesticated
come
though,
much.
bro?
I don't. This feel. I mean,
He played a good scheme. Like if next
Like,
week
he's not on
or this
anybody's
week comes up,
leash. If
Yeah,
anything, he's more free than he's ever been.
yeah, but this
It's
also
true,
has
but
this also has an old man Boba Fett feel to it, not a
right.
not
And
just
he's
Seems like he's trying to
supposed
do
to
a Lando, like he's trying to go legit in a way.
right. I
Yeah.
get
be,
it, but
be
it just
responsible.
it just doesn't seem like oh, this is supposed to take place a year after him crawling out of the Sarlacc pit, and it has this old
Right.
It
He's
has the way-
60.
it
He's
has
like
the-
in his 60s, and he's
it has
supposed
the
to be like
gunslinger.
41.
It has the older gunslinger vibe. Like I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to town, and it just doesn't. Like that was always my problem with it. It's more. This is like. It's the end of Boba Fett's story more than the oh, hey, I just got out of the Sarlacc pit.
It's like a
I feel like
last
he should
chapter.
have more respect.
Yeah.
Like I think people are too
Immediately.
disrespectful to him. Like they've forgotten, like you know,
like I
what
said,
a badass he was.
He's not wearing his helmet all the time. See, he was wearing the 6 minutes he's in Star Wars, he's wearing the helmet the entire time. He takes his helmet off to address you now. and it's kind of off-putting to me because he should be wearing, like, anytime he's out in the street, he should be wearing a helmet all the time. I don't know. He needs
I
that
assume
Mandalorian
that's him
cool
trying to say
factor.
like he's not so afraid that he feels like he has to be armored up all the time.
That could be it. Like,
And that's the whole thing.
you
He
know,
wants to be seen in the city, and he doesn't want to be like he wants to be seen. He doesn't want to be like I'm gonna be amongst the people. Like you can approach me.
I mean, I get it. He wants to be more
approachable.
softer. He wants to be approachable in all these things, and he walks. He doesn't want to be carried like the Fets do, the Huts do.
Let me ask y'all. Hold on a second.
Rancor now, though.
Let me interject here real
Oh, we
quick.
make a Dino Riders like Rancor Boba Fett set.
So I haven't seen any of this shit, okay? But are you telling me that in this show of this fan favorite character, Boba Fett, who's known for being really badass in the expanded universe and really cool looking costume, he's a bounty hunter. You tell me this is a show and he's not like he's hunting bounties, right?
No, not at all. He's the daimyo of Tatooine. He's the mob boss. He's a mob boss.
So he's a mob boss, right? So he's like killing people.
No.
Not so much, actually.
No, he's not.
No, Phoenix killed
him. He disintegrated a guy once, though.
So do you think that they're giving...
He did have a fight with a Wookiee, though.
Do you think they're giving the audience the show that they wanted? Because I'm getting the vibe that it's not.
It's not. It's not.
I don't know. I can see like why Star Wars fans wouldn't like it. I personally think it's pretty good.
It's all right. The trailer was too weak, and I was noticing that. I was like, I saw the trailer, I wasn't impressed when I saw it, and I was like, maybe it'll get better. Maybe when I see it, it's because they're not showing me enough. But in this, there's nothing to show. There's a few things. There's, really cool stuff, but it's kind of spoilery, so they couldn't put that in the trailer. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a more subtle Boba Fett. It's a more subtle show than everybody expected. I think a lot of people wanted Mandalorian with an action.
It's still time too. It's only like halfway through, right?
Right.
Well, it's halfway through. It's Boba Fett. You want to,
but something should be good by halfway through.
You want guns blazing, Western, like
it's getting there.
It doesn't feel like the Mandalorian does.
Yeah, Mandalorian was fast paced. They went from planet to planet. This is always on Tatooine. It's like 3 sets. It's like Jabba's palace. You get the casino where the Twi'lek lady is, Jessica Biel, and then you get like the random shots of the street.
Well, it's also desert. You get flashbacks. There's a lot of flashbacks. So it's just kind of like like all the good stuff is happening in the flashbacks because that's where all the action. That's where all the action
Boba
is.
Fett with the sand people.
Yes.
He's with the damn sand people.
But I was fine. But I was fine. Like the whole Tusken thing, that was very cool because we got to learn more about like the Tusken Raiders than we have in like 9 movies.
It humanizes them though, because it's kind of weird because they're like supposed to be not to be offensive to Tusken Raiders, but they're savages. They're supposed to be, killing, and their whole goal was they got Boba because Boba comes out of the Sarlacc pit, his armor stolen. He's got nothing on. They take him, they beat him, and they want him to dig for water, those little water capsules. And if he doesn't do that, and they're not going to feed him, they don't give him water. They want him to work to death, and that's it. And that's what Tuskens do. That's what happened to Shmi Skywalker, Anakin's mom. She dies because they work her to death, and it's just they're monsters, and they're trying to humanize that in a decent way. Mandalorian did a little better because they learn
indigenous too.
But he teaches.
It feels like
he learns their
the
language.
deserts are their place.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people in the cities are kind of outsiders. Like the trains are coming by and just like blasting them,
killing them,
fast moving trains and shit.
Yeah,
but remember that
was a good episode.
The Chief Tusken said that there are many different tribes that act different ways towards different people. So like the because you have like if you look into expanded universe, a Shard Het was who later becomes Darth Krat was a Jedi that was him and his father took refuge with the Tusken people and lived with the Tuskens. And like when in the Clone Wars, he was essentially he's not a Tusken, but he was the Jedi that wore the Tusken gear. And like he said, like his the way that he was raised and he was trained, like that's what it was. And then you get, like I said, there's other Tuscans, how each tribe is different and they fight with each other. So the tribe that Boba Fett was with could have been very peaceful, whereas the tribe that
There's
had,
another tribe.
the tribe that took Shmi was savage and very vengeful and just a bunch of killers. So
Thank you, Comic Book
I guess
Jackpot, for the super chat. He's bought PCP a copy of the 10 Lives of Wolverine #1, which releases on Wednesday.
Woohoo. Okay,
Thank you, good
cool.
sir. We appreciate it. And Albert's in the house. So what's up, everybody? Appreciate you. If you guys out there in the chat want a topic you want discussed, go ahead. Right now, the discussion is on the Boba Fett show, which I've not seen. But
Right now, I'd give it a 3, you digs, until I complete it. I mean, it's decent. It's fairly decent. And like, I mean, I suggest you watch it. It's just that third episode is just so off-putting. And it makes Boba look weak. But at the same time, it's picking up. Like, the episode after that is fucking awesome to me.
The thing
So,
too is that
it's back and forth.
he's finally just got healed. Like
Yeah.
the whole entire thing, he's been
that's right.
He's been in the baptistry
He's been in
tank
the baptistry
tank
the whole time.
like, trying to
Right.
heal. And in episode 4, he says, "I'm finally healed.
Mhm.
I'm 100% healed."
This is
So
me.
he had.
I
so
love
he
how he's in the
hasn't
tank
been-
and then like Black Christistan just like comes up and just like grabs him out and starts like, you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
dude just like busted into his
Yeah.
house and like is just pulling
But he
him out
could
of
have
his
just
fucking
shot him.
tank.
That's what makes that episode so bad.
I was glad to
He
see
coulda
that
just
character
shot him.
because, you know,
But
it
they're
makes
more
one of
fun.
my
He could have
comics
just
worth a lot of
crushed
money.
him, like bear hugged him to death, and he punched him with knuckles, and he didn't get hurt. He wasn't bruised. He wasn't bloody. Of course, it's Disney, but I mean, that man got hit full on with electric knuckles by a Wookiee. He should be dead, or just his jaw dislocated. I'm sorry. It was just too much suspicion, and he's holding him and crushing him. The next episode, he's ripping a man's arms off. So, what the hell? It's just inconsistent. If I'm coming to kill you, I'm gonna kill you. You know, I'm just gonna shoot. He's in the baptistry tank. You walk up to the baptistry tank, tap, tap, got you. The end.
It's not how that character works, bro.
He has a rifle. How did he sneak in? How did he sneak into Jabba's palace? I keep calling it Jabba's palace because it doesn't feel like Boba Fett's palace yet. But it just so weird. It's just such a weird fight. And you get the kids, the Power Rangers come in and they start shooting with their guns, and he doesn't get hit by any of that. It's just so weird. And he gets stabbed. And
That's
all
kind of
this
a
weird-
typical Star Wars trope, though. Is
Yeah.
that
Plotter.
guns only work like half the time.
Yeah. They were point blank shooting him, and he get phased. And I was like, something's wrong. This isn't right. That whole third episode,
That
like,
or
if
he's
it wasn't
got
that,
shields.
yeah, he was wearing, it looked like he had Beskar on his shoulders. But I don't
But-
know. They haven't explained that yet, or if they ever do. But I
I mean,
heard
they do
the
make
character.
they do make personal shield generators. That
Yeah,
you've
but
seen
it didn't-
characters
it
wear.
wasn't-
You ever
Something
played
like that.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic?
Beep, boop, beep. I'm just saying, man. There's just a lot of that third episode almost took me out that show. I knew it was going really slow. That third episode was just like, what is all of this? You know, there are good parts in it for moments, but he gets the ring. I'm sorry. Yeah, spoiler alert for everybody. Johnny Trejo comes in it, and it's some of the best shit. In fact, that's the best scene in the whole movie. When he gets a rank over, and I'm just like, oh, cool. So
I want to ride it.
there are parts I want to ride it, and I want to see him do it. And it's a great scene, or that great portion of that episode that could just be taken out and put anywhere else.
Well, it's also
And I'd be okay with it.
And
It was just it was weird.
that scene does so much to the character of the Rancor and to the Night Sisters on Dathomir. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
they did
kinda,
mention the Night Sisters.
The Night
I thought that was
Sisters,
kinda
yeah.
cool.
So you do have, and that does put a lot of place because he's like the Night Sisters used to ride them. So before you get more into the Night Sisters from the Clone Wars, which is technically canon. So now you have more canon information about the Night Sisters, and like I don't know if we're gonna get more into
Well,
that.
I think Ventress is the only survivor, isn't she?
No,
The Night
the Night Sisters are just they're all over Dathomir. They're different groups.
Thank
Like,
you, Comic Book Jackpot.
Yeah, thank
I
you,
know in the
dude.
Clone Wars, like Sidious basically like went to their planet and just wiped them all out.
It's like wiping out all the Tuscans. Did he really, or did he just wipe out that one tribe of them? Because it's the whole planet's full.
I'm pretty sure there are other Tuscans. I'm sure there are other
But
Tuscans. I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying,
Tatooine's a huge planet.
I mean,
They got three bosses.
Dathomir's a huge planet, so I don't think all the Night Sisters have been.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that all of them were on planet too either. I guess.
This is Clone Wars stuff, by the way. So
Right, but I'm saying it's referenced. It brought
and it is referenced, yeah.
but
it's
it
a lot of
got so
stuff.
we have a modern live action reference to the Night Sisters finally. Before it had been in comic, it had been in video game, but now we get a Night Sisters reference. So, like that has the potential to open doors for other things.
It does.
That could actually shine a light to like when Ahsoka's TV show comes out. Like,
Ooh, that'd be nice to put them in there.
That could be
I wonder
something
if
that
they
could be
should
involved.
bring Ventress
Put
in
a
there.
Sauce
actually.
Ventress in it, yeah.
Because technically, Ventress is still alive.
Yeah, Ventress never
So-
died.
We do not know what happened to her. She does not have
She became a bounty hunter.
right. But like I said, like outside of the Clone Wars, we haven't had a live action Ventress yet. So
Very true.
All right, I got a topic I want to get to because I want to participate in this discussion. You know, right? I want to be a part of the cool kids talking about this stuff. So, rumors are that the new Doctor Strange film will have even more heroes and characters, I should say, Marvel characters, than Avengers Endgame. And all of the rumors have started being like, people from the Fox X-Men franchise will be popping up. People from those Fantastic Four movies will be popping up. John Krasinski's going to be in it as Mr. Fantastic, as well as the other guy that played him in the Fox movie by Tony Story. Tom Cruise is going to be there as Iron Man. Tom Cruise is going to be Iron Man
That'd be
because
cool.
he was almost Iron Man in the 90s.
yeah.
And not only is Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland in it, but Leonardo DiCaprio's in it as Spider-Man. Like, it's starting to get ridiculous.
are we
What
going to get
everybody thinks is being dropped in. Here's the question.
Douglas Scott Wolverine. Are we getting it?
I don't know, right? Like what
Let's
could have been.
not.
Rumors are that
I'm
Ben
not digging
Affleck is
for
going to
it.
be in it as Daredevil, right? Okay. So here's the thing. The idea is that they're going to try to throw as much of that shit from those other movies just at the wall in this craziness. First of all, do you think that's a good idea to
No.
go this whole thing? And
Already
B,
no.
who do you want to see? Jelani, go.
No, I don't want. I mean, I don't want them to just like we don't have any ideas. We just gonna do it. But it's Sam Raimi, so I trust Sam Raimi in a lot of different aspects. I mean, 3 is not the best of the Spider-Man trilogy, but he was at least trying, and he has a love, for this genre. So I want to see him do well. I know it will be dark. It's not as dark as the first director that did it. So it's not going to be, whatever that was supposed to be. But I know Sam Raimi can still balance that levity of the MCU the way it's supposed to be, as well as the dark. James Gunn does it exceptionally well. So I know Sam Raimi will do a good job. So I know that it's going to be a good, it'll be a good mix of things that will happen. But what I want to see, I want to see the X-Men in some form. I want you to show me, at least give me a glimpse of the X-Men. You haven't done anything in these phases to say that you acquired Fox and that you have these properties. Like the most we've gotten is the Von Doom that was in the Moon Knight trailer. That's as much as we've gotten for someone from the 20th Century Fox era.
It's not Von Doom.
Well, I know it might be something else.
What is it?
It could be. What is it?
One of those.
What is it?
I can't remember like what culture one of those guys broke it down. It's a delivery company. It's not Von Doom.
Okay.
It's something
But
different.
it's blurry and it's crazy.
Well, if you go back and watch the scene, like there's a box in the back that has the whole logo on there.
Mhm.
So it's just a teaser.
Okay.
It just says
Good.
Von.
Good.
It just makes you think it's Von Doom, but it's
But-
not really.
That's what's worse about it too. That means we don't have any references to anything that's supposed to be coming through. They played it with us with WandaVision by putting in Boner, and it's just so weird that you haven't done it yet. You know, at least pull the trigger on something so that we feel like the X-Men are coming. That's what I want to see.
Gotcha.
I want to see the X-Men interact with the MCU.
You're basically telling me that you want to see this movie finally launch some kind of new direction.
Because they don't have one right now.
I don't think so. I think do you think Eternals was trying to do that? Because that's not what I got out of Eternals.
Not at all. I think Eternals, I think they were like, we have Chloe Zhao. We finally got like a noteworthy director. She's done a few things. And, you know, I don't know. I haven't personally watched any of her movies. I don't know. But then she spoke out against China. And so they basically blocked this movie to begin with. And then they were like, we got Chloe Zhao. She's a worthy director. She's an Oscar-worthy director. We think we can just give her this property and make a movie out of it. And she decided to make her film because, like, I heard something else that she was supposed to, like, she wanted to, like, the Tiamat to come out of the planet and destroy the Earth. She actually wanted that to happen. And, you know, they were like, no, you can't.
She wanted to end the MCU.
She wanted to end the MCU after Endgame, of all things, just blow it up. And they were like, no, what are you doing? But they gave her creative control, like complete control. So she did what she wanted to do with this film in the parameters that they gave her for this property. So they think they could do no wrong. They did Guardians of the Galaxy. It did really well. And it was a property that no one knew. So they were like, Eternals, yeah. And then they took Kirby out of it. Kirby's not in it. You know, you don't feel that block technology. When I finally saw it, like I didn't like it at all. It's too long for what it is. It should have been a Disney Plus television show. It should have had something to give us, you know, in the shows to tell us that we care about these people. Gotcha. I didn't care about anybody. Gotcha. So they gave her creative reign. And she did what she wanted to do. It's not a part of the MCU. I don't treat it like an MCU film. I could have skipped it and lived my life. Because, I mean, other than it introduces kind of Black Knight, how we get Black Knight in there, and we may get Blade.
And Blade voice.
That Blade voice.
Ooh, Blade's voice. Big reveal. Yeah, so, cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm spoiling when it came out.
One of the things, too, that upset me with that is that there was... they could have had a great way to introduce Captain Britain also with with Excalibur.
Yep.
Or Lionheart or a version of one of them, because they pick up the sword in the ship and like, oh, is this Excalibur? Is this the Ebony Blade?
Ebony
no, it's
Blade,
just Excalibur. So now that ship is off into outer space with Excalibur in it. So it's just kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, Jelani said, kind of trust in Sam Raimi, but I don't know if we need all that jazz in the Doctor Strange, but you want to see something teasing X-Men. What about you, Mike? Doctor Strange, all these cameos, good idea if the rumor's true? And if so, what would you like to see?
Matt, I'm kind of so on the back of the packaging, fan of the show Bill Locke says that if you read the back of the packaging that's been advertised, it says that Sleepwalker was supposed to appear in this movie. Well, if Sleepwalker appears, then I'm kind of curious if we're going to get to see Nightmare. So
there were early rumors. I mean, as soon as the movie got announced, the immediate response that was trickling through was that it was going to be a Nightmare-centric story.
So it would be nice to see Nightmare finally make an appearance in the MCU.
That's who I think Bruce Campbell could be.
That would be nice.
Be nice.
But he wouldn't do it.
I said Dougray Scott was originally supposed to be Wolverine in the Fox X-Men movies, but he was injured in MI2.
He was not getting it.
And so the role went to Hugh Jackman instead. So, like I said, it would be nice to see Dougray Scott as Wolverine. So, I saw somebody make a comment about Ed Norton coming back as the Hulk. But
He wouldn't.
He doesn't come back. I know Eric Bana would.
What about Terrence Stamp shows up in the War Machine armor? He's like, it's finally next time, baby.
Yeah, Robert Downey.
Oh, my bad. He
gone.
goes, it's finally next time, man.
That'd be a good one. I'm down for that.
That's cool. All right. What about you, Brooks? What do you think?
Oh, Moby is Professor X. That'd be fun.
Moby. What about you, Brooks?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know, man. Like, if they try to, like, force a bunch of unnecessary bullshit in there just for fan service, that could drag the movie down, because it needs to be a Doctor Strange movie. The first Doctor Strange movie, it's set up, it kind of set him up, but he needs more, he needs more development in this movie. And, like, I'm trusting that, they'll make the right decisions, but I can see easily with this whole multiverse thing, them wanting to just cram all these characters in, how that could, like, really bog the movie down. And I hope they don't do that, but I mean, it would be interesting to see a bunch of these different characters. And if I had to pick one, I think they should put Ravage 2099 in there, because I know it would just piss so many people off if the first 2099 character to appear in a Marvel MCU movie would be Paul Ravage.
Well, most people would be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "Don't worry."
They'd be like,
They'd be like, "Don't worry, he was created by Stan Lee." And then everybody's like, "Oh, okay, we love him. It's great. I've always been a Ravage fan." And all of a sudden,
those Ravage 2099 number ones just go whoosh.
They start going up in front.
Yeah. I'm just saying this because I have that issue.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think I got a
in
couple.
The universe.
Yeah, Paul Ryan did the artwork in that, man. I'm a big fan of him. So, yeah, that's good. I think that it would be ridiculous if they just shoved in all these stupid cameos. Like, do you really think they're going to fucking pay the rate that Tom Cruise is going to need to do some fucking an Iron Man cameo?
Plus he'll need to learn how to fly in it.
Who even understands that bit? Those us, like, not most people be like, is Tom Cruise Iron Man now?
Niche fan service.
They would like, that would be so weird, right? I could see Nicolas Cage, right, as Ghost Rider. I could see them pulling Hugh Jackman in to do a Wolverine bit, right? I could see some things like that, especially Fantastic Four. I would like to see, if you want to tease Fantastic Four, that would be neat. But if you're doing like Brooks said, it should be a Doctor Strange story. And I think that the multiverse characters we're going to get are going to be more like cameos from not necessarily other Marvel movies from other companies throughout the years, though that may be part of it. But I think we're going to get a lot more of those characters from the What If, right? Like the Dark Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
We know Captain Carter's in it. America's going to be in it. These are confirmed ones. So, like, who knows? But I would like to see some kind of lean into the Fantastic Four if they wanted to do that. Outside of that, I don't know. Don't shove too much of that.
Just
shit
don't
in
do
there.
too much. Yeah,
I think that's what they're planning on doing with Flashpoint, and I don't know, man. Like at least Doctor Strange had a solo movie. Flash ain't got a solo movie yet, and they're just all of a sudden bringing in Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Batman. What? Can we just get it to Flash?
You do a Flash movie?
Like, most people, like, come on, do the Flash movie. Most people don't know what the Flash story is with all that CW shit thrown on top of it.
This is what hurts me among all of this stuff. Kevin Feige was a lightning in a bottle with how he wanted to interconnect these movies and these films. And he got to Endgame and he was just like, it'll be fine. I don't think... I don't know. I thought he'd have a better
too. Like, one writer finishes his arc, and then passes it on to the next writer or set of writers.
But this is the same. Yeah, but this is kind of the same course that it's going, and it's not. It doesn't feel cohesive. This last phase is very just broken. It's all over the place.
Well, they're trying to do solo movies to build up again. That's what they're. They Black Widow was too little, too late. Right?
Yeah.
And then
Shang-Chi after Civil War.
Shang-Chi is supposed to stand on its own. It's a weird post-credits thing that they got going on there. The Eternals hasn't really seemed to work, but who knows? I mean, because we're expecting, like, remember, in the very first Iron Man movie, we got the word Avengers. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of Avengers, we saw Thanos. Right. So, like, We're expecting
it's
movement,
not
progression.
I think the Eternals movie is like setting up a like Avengers Mountain, possibly. Like, the Celestial might end up being like the base for the new Avengers.
Yeah, I picked up on that. It's trying their teaser is teasing into the Midnight Suns universe that they're wanting to establish, with Blade being the central piece of that, right? Blade, Ghost Rider. I mean, wouldn't that be cool if you see Doctor Strange multiverse and all of a sudden you see Keanu Reeves run up in a motorcycle and all of a sudden his head bursts into fucking fire and he's the fucking Ghost Rider?
Whoa.
Like, I'm just saying.
They don't need to be doing all that though. That's just way too much. That's
the thing is they're trying to ring that nostalgia bell instead of building for the future.
Tell me a story. Yeah, get me there.
I don't mind that, but as long as they, as long as they make it a Doctor Strange movie too. Like, you can throw like all that stuff in there as long as you keep, you also give me a good Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I want to see that too. Yeah. It may happen though. We don't know. Hopefully it'll work out well. Because not in game. I keep saying it. I keep thinking of the Spider-Man movie. I know Joe Corella doesn't like it, but I think it was well done.
He still says he had fun watching it. So Trade Paper Dad's got a question. After 9 Fox X-Men movies, what direction do you want the X-Men to take in the MCU? My answer is the animated series, but a little bit better written. What about you? Let's go to Brooks. Brooks is a huge X-Men fan.
Yeah.
We all three of y'all are.
Yeah.
I would just be interested to see them just be in the MCU. Like, how are they going to explain like mutancy? Or like how these people have these powers, and aren't babies? Because there's been no mention of mutants, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't exist. Like, they could have been like, kept on the down low. Maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, protecting them. Maybe they were like, maybe Xavier was keeping them hidden away, there are ways to introduce them without, having to totally like retcon the MCU. But I would just be interested to just see them interact with, the universe. You see Wolverine and Spider-Man, and like I just.
Yeah, but we won't get to see Wolverine and Captain America. We won't get to see Doctor Doom and Iron Man, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer, is that a lot of the original cast is kind of moved on. So like, even when they do bring like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in, it's not going to be with like the original Avengers.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's going to be like, this is the Fox era of the MCU.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? How do you want to see the X-Men be done in the MCU?
As long as the guy that wrote X-Men 3 and that last
Simon Kinberg,
as long as he's away from
Simon fucking Kinberg,
as long as he's removed from the equation, I don't care.
Fuck that guy.
That guy has trashed this. He killed it. All right, let's reboot it. It's working good. Let's bring him back in.
Let's bring him back in and do the same story.
Let's do the Phoenix story again. You can surely get it right this time.
Let him write and direct it this time. Like,
let's change the ending so it's not.
Let's reward him for The Last Stand.
Like, I
give him another chance.
Good soundtrack.
Dark Phoenix. Like, there could be an introduction to the Phoenix. That's how mutants. Phoenix comes in somehow. That's how mutants are created.
They're going to want to bring something in that hasn't been done, I bet, though.
And Phoenix,
I just hope they pull the right one. It's going to be like, it's fucking Unis, the Untouchable.
Well, even
Vanisher.
Something like whatchamacallit, Messiah Complex, that storyline. Like, this is the first mutant that's been born in X amount of time, and now it's like it's going back into time.
Like, maybe they don't know about mutants because their numbers have been decreased.
Right.
Like, maybe they used to be bigger, and
right.
I don't know. I think you could honestly just get away with the idea that no, they've been here because we're like, so like dragons existed, magic's existing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Eternals have been on Earth the entire time. So,
Sure,
like,
we just never saw. We just
never see them. I think the best way to introduce them is with 3 fucking claws popping out of someone's hand at the end of a movie, right? Like a teaser, like where you see Wolverine. Like, and I wouldn't even be against the idea of doing a damn Wolverine movie first.
Mhm.
I know that people roll their eyes and they're like, do First Class or whatnot, but
like,
just
see,
like, what if they just did Weapon X as a movie?
As a big X-Men fan as that I am, like, I really don't want to see Magneto, like the Magneto Xavier. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Apocalypse.
Well, who else is there?
Well, that's why everybody specs heavy on Omega Red and Mr. Sinister.
Sinister, like, done right, would be kind of cool because, I mean, the whole, even, like, we never really got to see the Marauders. And those are interesting.
So are you saying, though, like, when they introduce them, you don't want to see Xavier and Magneto? You don't want that core?
I don't want to be the whole, like, the whole Fox stuff was Xavier and Magneto. Like, I don't, like, Magneto wants to take like, your basic X-Men #1.
That's a good idea, Bobby. I like Bobby's idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So,
and introduce Krakoa.
No, not yet.
Would you want to have them? Would you want to have them based in?
That's
San
giant
Francisco?
X-Men.
Would you?
No, I get what you're saying.
Would you want to have the X-Men based in San Francisco, or would you rather have them based in Massachusetts?
How about Australia?
No, that'd be cool too.
No,
Like,
I
like
like the
Green is
giant size
Australian.
X-Men thing because you could then just say a lot of people know and understand the story of the X-Men, but then you introduce like these newer characters like the second gen.
Yeah.
Like kind of like you could
You
do
bring
that. You
second
could
gen
actually
in.
you could
Yeah.
pretty much just take some of that Claremont stuff and figure out how to retool it. Obviously, I don't think they want to go into the Phoenix stuff anytime quick, but Wolverine is one they're going to want to get to. You could do a Weapon X movie,
You
right?
could do Wolverine
And then
and
at the end of
Hulk.
it, he gets recruited to the X-Men, and that's the X-Men movie, and it's the giant size kind of story, maybe a different version of it. And yeah, you could introduce Krakoa because you know that most of the times when they make these movies, they just read the last 10 years of these comics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Well, I was
it.
gonna say you could do something really cool with the Reavers and the Hellfire Club, like because that would be just an underground movement.
Well, I don't know if you could ever get better than Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I think you can.
Hey, I did like that death scene though. That quarter to his head.
Yeah, that was pretty dope, man.
But
I like him as a villain
was
in that
awesome.
movie, but
That
he's a
was
Bond villain. He's not Sebastian.
Yeah, he's not
Right.
Sebastian Shaw.
But it's just that way we get to see everybody and you don't have to get like super sexy Selena or White Queen. You can just get just corporate Emma and corporate Sebastian or Sebastian Shaw too, or his son, like the one that
That's who I want to see, and that's who I want to see for sure. And Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness is Kevin Bacon's Sebastian Shaw. What about you, Jelani? How do you want to see the MCU integrated, brought about?
I mean, I'd love it to be a Multiverse of Madness, but if they're not going to do that, I think like it should be that they've been here all this time, and that Xavier's been hiding them some form or fashion, even from Thanos. I mean, maybe this is the other thing. I don't want to go off on this, but in Eternals, I really think one of the two of the Eternals should have just been, clipped off, and then like they had an experience about that. I think everybody should have been out of the blip. You know what I'm saying? So, or not the blip, the snap. So it's just strange that I want to get the X-Men always there. Some of them disappeared, some of them came back, and how they dealt with that. And I want them to not been involved, in the greater story anyway. I don't want to see. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it. But I want them to have always been there. And but somehow
like
Xavier shields them
Yeah.
from the rest of the world.
It's
Like
not-
they're in Massachusetts, they're in Westchester, and they are just a school.
You're going with you're going similar to what they did in the 198 after House of M,
Yeah,
when there was only 198
No.
minutes left.
no more mutants.
Was that
And you
was that
have-
the Utopia era
No, that was
when they moved to San Francisco?
Right
Yeah.
after House of M.
House of M.
This was 198 right after House of M. They were essentially all under guard.
So check this guy's out. Bobby says Giant Size X-Men 1 is a movie. Original 5 old school X-Men in a Disney Plus like prequel show.
That'd be nice.
That could be cool because with the way they're integrating other character stories that maybe they wouldn't feel justify a movie. Like they would never do a Hawkeye movie. You know what I'm saying? But a TV show was able to do something. So that's another way you can flesh out some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with that as long as that chick that plays Sansa Stark is not playing Jean Grey.
No. Yeah.
No, they'll never get her to do that again.
What about Weapon X? Not as a movie, but as an episodic Disney Plus show. But like go that like Barry Windsor Smith. Like confusing, interesting.
I think have one episode be from Logan's perspective, one from Sabretooth, one from like Silver Fox's.
Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick.
But you need.
I
just
even
meant just the. I meant just in a movie first.
I just meant
there in a movie first.
I just meant the origin of Wolverine, like the Weapon X that Barry Windsor Smith did, where it's just Wolverine. They're not tying everything else into it. It's just them and Doctor like Cornelius and all that kind of jazz. You remember? And like he breaks out, but he has to fight.
The team is like a big part of that. Like his whole team with like
later on
Sabretooth and Silver Fox and all that.
Yeah, I get.
What if you get it's kind of interesting, but start with the Legacy Virus and Strife.
Start off with the Executioner song, one of the most depressing X-Men stories.
You're gonna start with Strife.
Yeah, like the whole.
It's Josh Brolin.
The whole idea is
he's the clone of Thanos.
Well, no, we don't know who Cable is, but we just have this dude that has created this virus that's killing people.
That's one of the rumors I heard.
Start with the Legacy Virus, and then that's the way you can thin it out, thin down the population. It's like, why is this virus killing people? Oh, because they're mutants, and then you have a small team of X-Men. Like Xavier's like, hey, look, I've tried this before. That's when you go into like the Giant Size X-Men #1, and here's this new generation team, and even have some of like Wolverine in. I really would not want anybody that's been in a movie already.
How are you going to do that though? Well,
I don't know.
What do you like? Who would you want that's popular?
Like who's going to be in this movie? It's going to be Maggot. It's going to be Maggot. It's going to be Blink. No, Blink was in a movie. It's going to be Maggot. Phantom X.
X-Men.
No, I mean you would. Like I guess, like I would
Thunderbird.
I guess it'd be I'd Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler. Like as much as I love Beast, like I think Beast is a little played out to the X movies.
I think that giant size team's a perfect place to start.
It's perfect.
That's what most people think of, either that or the '90s X-Men. So you either go the animated series route and that X-Men Blue team, which they were the popular ones, or I think Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus. Like those four in particular. Banshee and Sunfire, you can go ahead and kind of skip out on them.
I would bring Thunderbird. What about I'd bring in Thunderbird. Definitely keep Thunderbird. But
because you need the emotional death.
Bring in Banshee too, but kill Banshee as the twist instead of Thunderbird, right?
Also, you can
don't kill Banshee. Kill Sunfire. I never liked Sunfire really. He always has this attitude.
Yeah,
he was like. That's why he
was only there once.
Like it's like he was put on the team just to be like a foil for Wolverine, sort of. Like he's such an abrasive, like uptight asshole. And Wolverine's just like not having any of it.
Yeah, right.
But what about if Wolverine did like his version of the school, but he had Magma, Cannonball, Sunspot, and
Chamber.
New Mutants.
The New Mutants crew.
God, we did that already.
Wolverine and the New Mutants.
Chamber was a Generation X character.
That's what Gen X is essentially New Mutants.
He's Elon.
It is the '90s New Mutants.
I would possibly bring in Shadow. Like if you go with the Gen X lineup, instead of like Sunfire or Banshee, bring in somebody like Rachel Summers or Shadowcat.
Yeah, could be interesting. All right, show and tell time, y'all. Hope you're ready. First up tonight in show and tell will be the man Brooks. Show us what you've got.
Oh, wow. I'm first this time. Well, just recently was digging through some stuff like, I've been doing lately, and I found this guy. This is my Akira.
Nice. You got the chair? The
Yeah,
throne.
the chair is somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. I need to find his chair because the way his hands are doing that thing, which makes him look goofy as shit while he's standing, but
Yeah,
it's
that's how
because
you
he's supposed to
stand.
be like sitting on a throne.
He stands like Shaggy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Comic Book Jackpot. You're right. Probably the X-Men. I love that movie. We should review
Yeah.
that someday.
And here's Joker, also from Akira. And, this is Beastmaster night. I stumbled upon some of my beasts, primal rage beasts. There's Chaos.
That was
He's
cool.
the one who pukes and farts and shit. So he's like one of the best ones. I got the Armadon, I think his name was. I got a green and the original. He has a.
Are those
Oh,
like
shit.
figures from the 90s or are those new?
Yeah, those are 90 figures.
Nice.
Wow.
And
I never had any
stumbled
Primal
on-
Rage figures, man.
Yeah, they were
I
actually
remember
pretty
those.
damn good.
Yeah.
Like I showed these off on Dylan's show, but I also have these two guys, Sauron and Diablo.
Yeah.
I stumbled on these the other day at Target. This is the amiibo for the Killer Robot. It comes in a 2-pack with Metroid Dread
Metroid.
Samus. I like it. And I picked this up today. I just found it at Walmart for cheapest in Ghost in the Shell. For those
Nice.
of you unfamiliar, Ghost in the Shell is an anime about ghost turtles.
Is that the movie?
No, it's a series.
The first one? Standalone complex?
Standalone complex, yeah. It's like
Nice.
26 episodes. It was only $13 too.
Oh, hell yeah. Totally worth it.
Yeah. Last of all, since I gotta do the books, I got this a little while back and recently finished it. It's
Did
a
you like
story about spirals. And it's pretty crazy. Like, see, look, this guy's got a spiral on his back. That's not a good thing. Spirals in this book are bad.
Noted.
And yep, that.
Very
that's
nice.
it.
Very nice, bro. Very nice things. Next up, me, show and tell. All right. Well, first of all, here's the thing. So this is a little
Revolt and Development.
this is a little wind-up thing that I have. So I just wanted to show him off. And he
It's
walks.
clobbering time.
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
does it.
you should say it's clobbering time.
That would be pretty freaking cool. But let's see what else here. Got this. Mike found this and hooked me up. It's X-Men, the Ultimate X-Men. This is a bunch of short stories, like prose short stories. But
It's
it's
the book you were
got-
showing off the other night.
Yeah, man. It's got some artwork though by some artists. There's one in particular I want to show off. It's the Gary Frank one. Let me find it real quick. I should have put a bookmark in here or something, Save everybody a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. Yeah, look at this Gary Frank image right there.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, some of the images are pretty dope.
Snowy. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and it says edited by Stan Lee, and sure. And then this is 3 issues of Gen 13. It's issue 13. They did 3 versions of it with different interiors. You had to get all 3 to make the whole story. It was a really dumb gimmick, but it had a bunch of appearances of other characters like Madman, Hellboy, Bone. So I picked up that arc. So that's Gen 13, 13A, 13B, and you see Bone on the cover right there.
Is Bone an image book?
It was, but also because it's creator owned, that it didn't matter, right? And then got the sexy hero pose, Beastmaster appropriate,
Yeah, he
right?
looks almost like the Beastmaster.
Yeah. Of course, I've already shown off that Blu-ray set. I got some figures here. These are, of course, figures I've had, but speaking of Beast, there's my Sabretooth on card. Do you guys remember how much we were all waiting for this version of Sabretooth to come out?
Yes.
And I know we were all waiting for the second version of Apocalypse, but I still love this first
Still
version.
love-
Yeah, that's like the Walt Simonson
Yes.
Apocalypse.
A movie we need to do on PCP Movie Night.
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy. By the way, time to start thinking about y'all's cruise choice for
Okay.
this year. And then there's my mutagen man.
Oh, I used to love that guy.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorites.
Mutagen man's great. I thought I'd put him up on the Snake Mountain.
He
Good
matches.
color combo.
Yeah.
And of course, got his little dude right here. I love these playmates, especially the turtles. They're so detailed, man. And this one I opened up yesterday. This was one of my Christmas presents from Mike. I opened it up, and it's probably the best Funko-related thing I have. Look at this thing.
Wow,
Like,
Frankenberry.
I wish you could see it in person because it pops. And in this like light, it like glows like in person. It's really striking. Mike, this thing is fucking awesome. Thank you so much. It's so freaking cool. I love it. So there you go. And look at the size of this thing.
This thing is huge. It's big as your
Look at
head.
my head. Look at that. Look at that.
That's crazy. It's almost
right.
as big as Snake Mountain. Wow.
Right? Next up for show and tell, Mike, show us what you've got.
So if you look right there, that's the He-Man that Jelani got me for Christmas, and it's as tall as the door for Castle Grayskull. So, all right. So, if you've been to the shop this week, you've probably seen these out on display. I picked up Goliath from Nika. It's a really good figure. I saw a lot of people talk about it. We finally got it in, and I pulled the trigger on it.
He's quite baller.
Extra head, extra hands. It comes with a little pepper. It's got the book. The
Grimoire. Yeah.
Tails bendy. He's hard to stand, but I was never really a fan. Oh, shit.
He needs resting wings, though. That's
Yeah, he does. He needs resting wings or a cape. Or the cape wings. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
like interchangeable ones, right? Like you pull them off. And...
You put them off, put them back on. Yeah.
His wings just knocked over my mic.
They'll get in the way. See, if they were resting wings, they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and and they just pop in and out. So they pop in and out. So that's all there.
There's going to be the expansion pack later.
Yeah.
Well, they're making another Goliath with those wings, so it's coming.
Oh, that means I just got to buy another one.
Yeah.
But even without the wings, Goliath is still a pretty
He's awesome.
figure.
They're like, we're going to milk this shit.
Yeah.
There's like, you know how many Jason figures we can make?
They made 3 Super Shredders and all the Predator and Alien stuff.
You could make a version of him when from the episode he was turned into a human.
Yeah.
So, does anybody out there play the Mortal Kombat 11?
I haven't played it.
Or is the
These
new
go
Mortal
to
Kombat?
11.
I got the new Spawn that was out of that. It's the Malfix Spawn. I thought it was pretty cool. Just the body armor, the silver highlights and everything.
It pops.
Really cool look. So, and I want to say that these are the same. I want to say that you were like looking at your Todd McFarlane Kickstarter, and I think this is one. I think this is one of the energies that came.
Well, the Necro effects.
Looks like it, yeah.
I think it is. So I guess they made too many, so they're just going to reuse them in other Spawn figures. So, but it's a cool Spawn figure. I like the paint scheme and everything. It's kind of dope. So
Nice.
it's one of those like, oh hey, just like cool. So it look good back here, somewhere on the wall. And I got this in the mail today. I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be much later. But it came super fast, and I told everybody about it. So if you don't have one, it's your fault because they sold out.
What? Huh?
Hold on, I gotta reach it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, buddy.
My
buddy.
camera's crappy, but it's the Batman 2. Like it showed up last Friday or Saturday on Target.com. All the way to get it was online. You couldn't get it in the store, and they lasted all about a day. So, and I sent everybody a message, like it popped at like midnight, and I sent people messages like, "Hey, it's in stock. Like, get it now." So, if you didn't get it, I'm sorry. Hopefully, they'll redo it. But
Well, that is a redo, right? So
yeah, that's the second wave. So I don't know if they're gonna do it.
Yeah. They
And
might
it's
not do
supposed to be.
another.
It's supposed to be a Con SDCC exclusive, so I don't know if they're going to do another one or not.
Nice. Very nice.
From Target of all places.
It makes me always think of that Spawn 3 figure, which I got, we got the one in here that's all like folded out. But the cool thing is when it was in its package, one of those wings was folded in and it was like sprawled out like that. You can't really pose it that way because those wings or the cape just pops out regardless. You can't really click them in, right? You can't. At least I can't. Can you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. They just pop out.
Let me get mine.
They pop out.
They pop out and then they fold in.
Yeah, but you can't lock them in place.
So
you can lock them in place.
You can lock them in place. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Well, you have to pin the wing back. There's a wet place to hold the wing.
I think yours is just so old that it doesn't.
But the mechanism's not working as well.
Right.
I guess so. I don't know. But it's pinned. I mean, it doesn't work. Yeah, I think they just come out.
And it folds down because I had the one that Robbie had.
I mean, you can. Hold on. I mean, like they stay.
Yeah,
they do.
Mine don't stay. Mine don't stay.
Yeah, you said the mechanism doesn't stay.
Yeah.
But you don't want them down anyway.
It's not a stay. It's a clip in the back. Hold on. It's like a little clip in the back.
Ah.
See, there's like a little thing in the back.
I need to look closer at my Spawn figures.
And then I don't know if I'm showing you right, but yeah, you have to put they both have to line up in the back somehow.
Nice. Well, we have officially started your show and tell. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's nice. Okay.
It does that, and I think it holds. Hold on. Yeah, hold my hand out, and it holds. That's what it's supposed to look like when you.
And it should they need to make it so it's just a button you push and it pops out.
And I think, you don't really have to do that. You just pop them out. Oh, you want spring action?
There is a button on the back that you can hit.
I don't see one. That's the thing.
It's the side. It's the side.
Okay.
There's something on the side. It's spring loaded that you can click. You can hit it.
I'm trying to squeeze the legs and see. No, I don't see. No,
it's not the legs. It's something to do with the cape on the back.
Okay. But yeah, here's Spawn. My random show and tell.
All right, show us the rest of what you got.
All right. So, Beastmaster fashion. I have like a Black Panther from Jumanji. I got this at Walmart for super cheap one day because I was like, so
it sounds like it's saying rock and roll.
Rock and roll, yeah.
I love it. So, and then I go back to my other Black Panther. That is Drizzt and whatever from Dungeons and Dragons.
That one random ass Dungeons and Dragons figure you bought.
Yeah.
It's worth it for that Panther though.
It is.
It's
Panther
worth it
is
for this bit, bro.
He's super articulated. He's like super muscular. He's a really cool looking tiger or panther. Really awesome. And then of course I got Beastmaster. No, I didn't. That's counted. This is one of the last Toy Biz figures when they lost the Marvel property to Hasbro.
One of their best ones too, man.
This was pretty awesome. It came with that other monster guy that came with him, but I don't have. Well, I have him, but he's far away. And then I'm gonna go on a Todd Love Fest. I love me some Todd McFarlane stuff. Of course, I have my comedian. And the one I got you for Christmas, Robbie. But then I failed a couple days ago. The Criminal. And
very cool.
I like that one. He's fairly nifty. Target's like knocking it out of the park, actually. And then freaking the Clown. The First to Die. I like this one because he comes with the Joker fish. I got the Joker fish glued to his hand. Well, not glued. It's like stuck to his hand.
Cool.
See, I don't understand McFarlane and their distribution because I have not seen those solicited at all.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
they were supposed to be like one of them was supposed to be a Target exclusive. Like I think it was the comedian that was the Target exclusive. Oh no! It was supposed to be GameStop and Walmart exclusive, and that's why the other two were supposed to be something else. But Target gets everything crazily. And then I got this damn. Oh my god! I love this thing. I got the Bat Cycle and Batman from the upcoming movie. Batman. I really, really like the cycle.
That's cool.
It has spinning wheels. It has its own base, this little base stand that comes with it. And of course the Batman figure.
Did you get that from Target too?
I found this at Target, and it was only one of them. I can't believe it was there.
They so broke street date on that.
Yeah. They did they? Well,
yeah.
Yes. And then I guess, I got Catwoman too. I found Catwoman. And
I mean, that whole line just got put up for solicitation to pre-order.
Riddler was there too, but I didn't get him. I don't like the way that costume looks. But finally,
Gotta be a weird figure for that Riddler to be on kids' toy shelves, right?
It's like he's wearing the jacket and the question marks and all that stuff. It is kind of creepy. But I just didn't get it because I will see the movie before I find out if I like it or not. Finally, thank you, Mike, because I got your message. And I got mine too.
Nice.
This is the package.
Beautiful, man.
He is so clean. It was so much trouble though because I had to use like a hair dryer to make sure that he all the pieces fit well. But like you can take him out. He's got his own cape and arms, and you get to put that on his body too. They're awesome. I didn't bring him out here, but I love it the way it is, the way it stands. He's
now,
just so.
How did the autograph card look?
Hold on, give me like 2 seconds. Well, it's a card, but it wasn't signed. Mine wasn't signed.
It's supposed to be signed.
It's not signed. Can y'all give me like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
I'll get it. Let me go get it.
That's the one thing you can't see in the packaging.
Is it that only maybe some of them are signed? Like it's random or something maybe?
I don't know, because it says, on the ad it said it came with an autographed card.
Maybe it's autographed by like the guy who packed the box.
Could be.
Yeah.
So is Joseph Jackson.
I got it. It's like, it's not signed. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on.
Is it just like a fucking factoid or something?
It's a factoid of freaking Batman and not the Todd McFarlane sign or signature. But then I got the bag.
Well, that's crap.
Of the stuff that came with it. Yeah, I know. It's not signed. But the cape is fairly decent. I had to use a hairdryer to like get it to fit in.
Oh, that's right. Comic Book Jackpot. I do remember seeing that. $50 was the normal one. There was $80 for the autographed one.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I didn't see that one. I just got the one, the link.
All they
but
gave us was
and those are the arms. Those are the arms that come with it. And
when it's in that like Spawn cape mode, it doesn't actually have any arms on it, does it?
Yeah, it didn't have any arms. I'll take it out just to show you. Like, oh yeah, you gotta take the head off first.
I think that cloth cape looks stupid though. I wish
it does. I know, but it's fine. But he comes with the head and the arms just stick in. Let me do it real quick. I'm sorry, I'm taking all this time, but this Batman figure is awesome. I was gonna open this.
Venus Dueno. Yeah,
this is the cape sticks in like these two holes in the bottom, and they're like divots, and you just put it in. It takes. I knew this was going to take a long show and tell, but I wanted to show you this too. And then I got to put the arms in, but it's not bad. It took me forever because I had to get a hairdryer and like loosen this stuff up because it was so tight in the box. So she said.
A lot of people have had theirs be broken and shit.
Yeah, my bicep popped out and I had to like super glue it back in, but it was the glue that came out because I used the hairdryer. Oh god, it takes so long to put these arms in. Sorry guys.
This is riveting.
And then put the head back on. And I drop the bang ring, of course. But that's what he looks like with the regular cape in and his arms. I mean, it's a decent cape. It needs to be wired. I think not only gripe, but he comes with other hands as well. But he's classic Batman. He's classic like 80s year 2 Batman. It looks good.
Yeah.
It needs to. I agree. It's a wired cape, but then the Batarang that came with it. Of course, I put it upside down. But yeah, he's
Nice.
It's not bad. I mean, I like it in either form, but man, that big old cape, it's like a statue, man.
Great display piece, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it like that.
It's for those of us who can't roll for like $600, $800, $1,200 statues. So we just get $50 action figures. Right?
That's right. Well, I got mine for like $37. I use my Target Plus stuff.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for another PCP movie night and PCP back chat. Of course, we talked about Beastmaster, but join us next week when we talk about Small Soldiers. And also check out Dylan's horror show over on Saturday night. We're talking about The Void. It's going to be a grand old time, everybody. We are dipping out. Pop, pop, boom. Station to the nation. Masturbation.